right, everybody. D-Sweet Nation again. I've been looking more forward to this podcast than any other podcast that I've done. Even more so than that wrestling one I did back in October, Dan. This is the Davison football state champions in the house today. My buddy Randy Scott was nice enough to let me use Mr. Scott. I should say Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott was nice enough to let us use his studio. I've known Randy for about 31 years. Grew up with Randy. Emmy Award winner. How long have you been here, working here?
18 years now.
18 years now. You guys like Mr. Scott? Is he all right?
Yeah, sir.
Pretty nice guy?
They just don't want to put him on TV, right? That's all they know.
He might not look like it. He was actually a pretty good football player when he was in school. I'll give the inspirational story when we're done with the show because that's a long story. Now, quick introduction here. Name, let me see. I want your name, what grade you're in, and your favorite teacher. Yes, everybody's going to pick a favorite teacher. No one's going to say, I don't know. I don't really have one. No, everybody has a favorite teacher at school.
Sidney, Willis, and 77.
Who's your favorite teacher?
Mr. Renner, he's a carpentry teacher.
Renner? Mr. Renner?
Yeah, Mr. Renner.
Okay. He's carpentry?
Yeah, carpentry.
So you know how to like install carpets? Like Matt and Mark Smith? You can put carpet in my house?
Carpentry is working with wood, right?
Wood, baby.
Woodworking.
Sarah back in the day, right?
Carpentry. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought of carpet. I'm sorry, Matt and Mark. I gave you a plug anyway. Remember in my solo cast, I told you I'm not attuned to anything that goes on in the world except for the sporting world. And I can type fast. That's the only thing I know. I didn't even know that carpentry had to do with wood, because when something breaks in my house, I don't fix it. I just pay somebody to do it. I'll have, Luke come over and fix it. I'll pay him $100 for a 10-minute job. I'm that guy. I don't care. So you like Mr. Renner a lot. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Big Luke. I know Luke pretty well. I grew up with both of his parents. Luke, what grade you in? Number, and who's your favorite teacher?
I'm a junior. I'm number 56, and my favorite teacher is Mr. Miller. He's a algebra teacher.
Algebra teacher. Man, that was my hardest subject. You like algebra?
I mean, math's not that bad, but he's pretty cool. He was a JV football coach.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. And we got over there, we got AJ Terry. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Terry.
I'm number 4, and my favorite teacher is Miss Heath. She teaches health science.
Miss Heath?
Heath, yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that's good. Your turn.
I'm Landon Kisch. I'm a junior. I'm number 5, and my favorite teacher is Mr. Frey, and he teaches sociology.
Okay. You got good hair, man.
Thank you.
You all these kids are good-looking kids. Don't get me wrong with the hair. Don't tell me that you didn't, Dan. Don't tell me you didn't notice his hair when you first came in here.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, good hair. He's like a throwback player from like the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, you watch those old movies, where they got the varsity, Happy Days or something.
He's the kid that just don't roll out of bed to leave the house. He spends like an hour in the bathroom before he leaves the house.
Oh, you're that guy.
No, it don't take that long.
So when you go to the barber shop, do you get a haircut or do you get your hair styled? There is a difference.
I get a haircut.
Get a haircut,
Yeah.
like a man. You get a man's haircut.
Yeah.
Okay, we got the big fella over here. Tell us who you are, your number, and what grade you're in. Favorite teacher.
I'm CJ Brady. My number is 76, and I'm a junior. My favorite teacher is Mr. Prim. He teaches physics.
That's good. You know what was cool about asking about their favorite teacher? All 5 of them picked 5 different people. That just goes to show you.
Yeah.
That goes to show you how good the teachers are here. Now way before you guys were born. When I was in high school, my girlfriend went to this school, and back then they used to have what was called a visitor pass. I don't know if they still do that here, where like she used to bring me to her classes for the entire day. I would be on a visitor pass.
I think they stopped doing that.
Did they stop doing that?
Yeah.
Now, Dan, what I remember a few teachers back then. I know you'll know them. I
Yeah.
remember my favorite one was Mr. Irwin. Do you remember Mr. Irwin?
I think so.
Old
yeah.
man, he was real old, bald-headed, tattoos. I think he fought in World War II or something. No, he had any teachers.
He used to ski to school in the winter. He'd ski across the field.
See, guy was like 89. He used to
Yeah.
ski to school.
Yep.
How cool is that?
My favorite teacher was Mr. Yoder. He was a history teacher.
Okay, another teacher I remember was Mr. Sawyer, the little short guy. He was short, a short math teacher. He coached on the football team, didn't he?
I think so, yeah.
And his son, Todd Sawyer, played
Sawyer.
football back then.
Yep. That's,
And I remember one more teacher.
Football and basketball, I
I think
believe.
her name was Hickmont. Volleyball coach.
that
You
doesn't
did
ring
you
a
ever go to school? You don't know none of the teachers. These are like real famous
Man,
teachers.
that was 20 plus years ago. I forget school when I left it.
You don't remember Mr. Irwin?
I do. I remember Mr. Irwin.
All right. Now, okay. Here's what I want to ask you guys first. Now, I'm going to let everybody individually tell me what the routine was. Now, I want to know, like, take like just an ordinary week in the football season. We'll say like week 5 or whatever. I want to know what is your personal, like, weekly routine. Now, let me give you an example. I'll tell you what my routine was when I was playing football. I would, let me see. Our school got out really early. We got out like 2:22. What time you guys get out of school?
2:36.
Okay, so around the same time. Now, when I was in the 11th and 12th grade, I remember I got out of school like 11:30 or 11:45 in the morning. I always got out, I hustled my way out of getting out early, which is not a good idea, okay? Anything I say that I did in school, just do the opposite of what I did, okay? I want to say that right now. But what I remember is I'd go to school, obviously, and then, let's say like a Tuesday, when you got practice after school. We had practice at 3:30 in the afternoon. Now I had like 3 or 4 hours to kill. I would go to my cousin Tony's house, hang out there. We'd eat, go to Ponderosa or something. You guys ever heard of the Ponderosa?
Yeah,
No. It's kind of like what Golden
You
Corral
never
is
heard-
now.
it's a buffet.
You never heard of Ponderosa? Am I that old?
I've
We
heard
are
of
that
it.
old.
Am
Yeah.
I really that old?
Yeah,
You
it
guys-
slaps.
Ponderosa?
Oh, okay.
You guys know what Golden Corral is, right?
Yeah.
It was the original kind of Golden Corral style restaurant.
Ponderosa, Ponderosa was a kind of place where, like, you could take a date there. You don't have to spend that much money. Because their lunch buffets back then was like $3.99. Like the pop cost more than the buffet did. But anyways, we'd go eat somewhere, and then I would come back. We'd go back to my cousin's house, and we'd watch the Ricky Lake show. Probably never heard of Ricky Lake either, huh? Ricky Lake is actually a lady. And then, let me see, we'd watch that show from 2 to 3, and then I would go to football practice from 3:30 to whenever. Then I'd go home and play basketball. That was my routine. I did that every week. So everybody has a routine. Now, what's your routine? Just a regular routine.
Wake up, go to school, then after school, I usually didn't have a ride home. So I just go hang out in the locker room until practice starts, and after that, I go home, eat, do my homework, and sleep.
Okay, that ain't nothing wrong with that. Luke, man, I know you got a routine. I've seen your work ethic.
I mean, after school, normally I just go chill in the gym. I wouldn't really do anything because we normally work out in 6 hour or do whatever we're doing in 6 hour. And then when practice started, we had to go deal with wine guards for a couple hours. And then after that, he'd take me home and just eat and chill, go to bed.
It's a good routine. You got now your 6 hour. You said 6 hour workout, like weightlifting type stuff.
Yeah, we have like a lot of football guys in our 6 hour.
See, they actually worked out in that 6 hour. When Randy and I, Mr. Scott, I need to quit calling him Randy. Mr. Scott, when we play football, I don't think we lifted a single weight. We just checked in and left. But no, I mean, regretfully so. We should have been in there working out, but we had 6 hour weightlifting too. All right, Mr. Terry, what's your daily routine?
I mean, I'll wake up, eat breakfast, go to school. It's boring. I don't like school. I don't want to talk about it. We get out of school at like 2:36.
You like school?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I do love school. I mean, I like the people around there. And I like just socializing because I'm a big and happy guy. And we got out of school at like 2:36, right? And then normally what we do is like, since I hate sitting around, because we just play basketball. And my friend Yusuf, he swears up and down he can beat me, but he never does. So I always beat him.
In basketball?
Yes, in basketball, of
Oh,
course.
you can ball? Yusuf, I met him. I know him.
Yes. Big six, yes.
You can
6'4".
ball, huh?
Yes, I can ball. Hey, what?
You can't
Stop it.
ball,
Stop
dog.
it. You can't ball.
Y'all
I don't
sleep
hear
on me.
it.
That's what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
hear
I'm a
it.
hooper.
No, because after that, after we got the gym, we go to practice. Normally, before I get changed, I just make fun of people around the locker room. Like Sidney over here. I ain't gonna get into what I say, but and then
You better watch what you say about making fun of your linemen now.
then after practice, all I do is go home, eat, probably do some homework, maybe, and then go to sleep.
Okay.
So was AJ the jokester in the locker room?
A little
Yeah.
bit.
Definitely. That was one of my questions on here. But that's a good routine. Now, I'm gonna say this. When you guys ain't in school no more, like when you're adults raising a family, married and all that, you're gonna wish that you was back in school.
Right.
Because when you're in the real world, getting up, working all day and stress and all that, you'll want to come back to this, Terry. Trust me.
When you get married and start paying bills and start living regular life, you look back and you think, man, school should have been a breeze to me because it's the easiest thing we ever do in your life.
Okay. All right, Landon, what's your routine? I know you got a good routine with that good hair.
I wake up and I comb my hair.
Hey, yeah.
And then I go to school throughout the day. Now I work out in 6 hours, and then just go to practice and get yelled at a little bit by Coach Taddy. And then we just get out and I'll go home. I'll take Lucas and Kobe home, and then just go home and do my homework and sleep.
Okay, that's good. Terry, you never picked a favorite teacher. I want to know who your favorite teacher is. Don't be acting like you ain't got no favorite teacher.
I did.
Yeah, he did.
Who'd you say?
Yeah,
Said Miss Heath.
his,
She's,
health-
she's a-
Oh yeah, that's right, Miss
Health
Heath.
science
That's
teacher.
right. I'm sorry, man. I got caught up in all that comedic stuff, man. And your favorite teacher is Landon?
Mr. Frey, he teaches social.
Wait a minute, I already asked
Yeah,
all these
you
guys
were-
all that stuff. Didn't I? There I go again.
Routine. CJ, routine.
I'm sorry, man. My bad, man. I did ask that already.
Yeah.
So that's all you do for your routine? Comb your hair,
no,
go
I
to school, get
eat,
yelled
brush
at,
my teeth.
take Luke home.
And it just repeats every day.
Oh, okay. Now, you give him a couple bucks of gas, take a McDonald's or something?
I mean, I live right down the road, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
right
okay.
down the road. We
Okay.
all live pretty close to each other. So
Oh, you guys all live pretty close?
yeah.
Okay. Oh, this ought to be good.
Well,
I can't wait to hear this routine.
I wake up, usually sit in bed for a little bit, and I finally get up. I go upstairs, I eat breakfast, and then I go to school. I take him home after school every day usually. And
Take
then,
him home?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then
That's good
we
that you
chill
guys
at
look
his
out
house.
for each other like that, though. That's good to hear.
We
you know.
chill at his house for a little bit. Then we'll go back to practice. Get yelled at for not hurrying up on getting ready, even though we're like 10 minutes early. And then we'll go out, get yelled at after practice. Usually we sweating, so I go grab an Arizona at Speedway, and I take him home.
Speedway. That's on Lapeer and M15, that Speedway right there?
Yeah, and then I just go home. I eat dinner, maybe play the game for a little bit, and then go to sleep.
You can eat, can't you?
Oh yeah, yeah, I can definitely.
What's
eat.
your favorite restaurant?
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild Wings. What's your favorite restaurant? This guy looks like Bob Dylan, man.
My favorite restaurant? I like MD's. Davison.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of good reviews about their food.
It's pretty
CJ,
good.
you like wings then?
Yeah, I love wings.
You ever add wings at either Mojo's or?
Oh yeah,
Mojo's.
Mojo's. Yeah.
We went there
Here we
on
go.
Wednesdays
Yeah,
after.
yeah, Wednesday.
Mojo's.
We
Where's
go
that?
there after practice.
It's right on M15.
Yeah, just north of Richfield on M15.
They have some good wings.
Okay. Is that where Ryan plays his concerts at? Mojo's?
He's played there before.
Played there
yeah.
before?
Yep.
Terry, what's your favorite restaurant, man?
I mean, back when I was a kid, it was Joe's Crab Shack.
Oh, back when you was a kid, way back in the day.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
all right.
Now it's 40 minutes away, so I'm not driving 40 minutes by myself. So now I just go to Buffalo Wild Wings, the honey barbecue. You like the medium?
Oh man,
Hey, I'm telling you what, the Buffalo Wild Wings are too small and they're overpriced.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah.
They are.
Yeah, it's like $20 for
They're
like.
just so
like
good.
18
I
wings,
get
maybe.
their spin. I like their artichoke dip. When a
Yeah.
place is too expensive, man, I just look at the appetizer section. I ain't spending $20 for no 10 wings or whatever it is.
Mojo's and MD's wings are the best bang for your buck. They're
Yeah.
huge wings.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you telling me you'll take artichoke dip over mozzarella sticks as an appetizer?
I'm
in
pretty
on that,
I'm
too.
pretty meticulous when it comes to my mozzarella sticks, man.
I'm
See?
in on that too. I love artichoke dip. I'll take artichoke dip
Artichoke
over
dip's
mozzarella
pretty
sticks any day.
Well,
Yeah,
it's gotta be
artichoke dip,
it's gotta be
that
good
bangs.
artichoke. It's gotta be good artichoke dip. I like it thick with that thick cheese on there.
You like
Yeah.
MD's then?
MD's got artichoke
It's-
dip there.
It's so much better than Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay.
Even
Now,
Applebee's though, they got some pretty
Yeah,
good
it's
artichoke
pretty good
dip.
too.
What?
Applebee's
No.
it's like the McDonald's of restaurants right now.
Hold on.
It's like, you know what? Forget it. Buffalo
Everybody
Wild
goes
Wings.
there at the games.
Exactly. It's too far.
Yeah, it's the
Applebee's.
cheapest too.
Half off apps, man.
What's the
You might
nearest?
as
What's
well.
the nearest Buffalo Wild Wings? What? Birch
Grand
Run?
Blanc.
No, I said Grand Blanc.
Grand Blanc?
Grand
Oh, they.
Blanc.
By the movie
No,
theater.
that's right. They do. got
Actually, no.
Buffalo
Isn't Miller
Wild.
Road closer?
Yeah.
That one's
Linden,
trash.
Linden
though.
Road right across from the mall.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
right
wouldn't.
familiar.
No, they're mean. I don't want to go. It's too mean.
that
Now, I'm gonna tell you this. I know this boy can eat because I've seen him eat. Go. You can name a couple places, Luke. Go ahead, man. What's your favorite
mean-
restaurant, or two or three?
My favorite's probably Sagano's. I love Sagano's.
Sushi or hibachi? Both. Yeah.
Oh, that's that.
Japanese.
That's where Ryan took me. Oh man, you want to hear about my sushi experience?
Yeah, go for it, man.
All right. It was about 10 years ago. A good friend of ours. I was going through some times back then, okay? And my buddy Ryan Woods, who I'm going to talk about later, because he went to this school too, was a good football player, called me on the phone, say, hey, Ray, man, I want to get you out of the house for a minute, man. I know you don't want to be around nobody. Let me get you out of the house. I said, for what? He said, just let me take you to Sagano's. This Jap. I said, I don't eat sushi, man. I'm not eating that stuff. He said, just try it. He said, don't knock it till you try it. I said, all right. I went there and ate that sushi, and what was that sauce? That sauce that he put on there?
The yum yum sauce?
I
Or
don't
the eel
know them
sauce.
Japanese
Eel
words,
sauce?
man. What's that sauce called?
Eel sauce?
That taste was in my mouth. I said for like 20 minutes, or no, 20 days. Wasabi?
Oh,
Wasabi's the green pasty stuff.
I can't remember, man. There was a certain, it was the most disgusting. I don't know how people eat that stuff, man.
Coincidentally, the same guy took me there for sushi my first time, and that's where I fell in love with sushi.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I tried it.
Can't do
I ain't doing it, man.
Can't even
Give
do
me some chicken fingers or some chicken tenders or something. A burger or something, man. What else, man? What else do you like?
Just not
Big Luke?
spaghetti.
Oh, Lord.
No, I don't like spaghetti either.
Spaghetti bangs with sugar on it.
Told you. I told you.
God.
You guys never had it with sugar.
Sugar on it? It
You're
makes
kidding?
it
You
sweet.
know what? No, actually, Italian Gardens, that's the secret to their sauce. They put sugar in their sauce. That's
To
why their
the
sauce
to
is a
the
little
mazzacelli or
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm telling you, bro, it's over. Y'all need to try that. Put a little I don't
Bangs.
sprinkle it.
sweet. Brown
Add a little
sugar.
Nah,
sweet
you gotta
Brown sugar. Put brown sugar in your sauce.
brown sugar.
brown
I mean,
sugar?
I don't make it. My mom makes it. So like, whatever she puts in there, I tell her to put in there. So
Yep. Brown
Are we
sugar
talking about
or-
spaghetti or are we still on that sushi?
No,
Ew.
pasta sauce. Pasta sauce. Like if you go to Italian Gardens, their sauces has a
But the
little
man
sweet
said he
taste to it.
don't. The man said he don't like spaghetti. Don't try to
these-
force him to. No,
no,
don't put.
these
If you
guys-
don't like
no,
it,
they're
man,
talking
don't eat
about
it.
it.
No, all that sugar and pepper and peanut butter and jelly. Who cares, man? I don't like spaghetti either. Okay, what do you like, man?
I like Mojo's. It's my favorite place to eat. I get the chicken wings, like
Yeah.
16 of them. Not gonna lie.
They got wings, good pizza,
I
burgers,
get
pretty
the
good.
ranch kind. That's my favorite.
I got another question for all you guys. This is something me and a bunch of people were talking about. Who has the best pizza? You start first, and don't not Hungry Howie's or little. I'm talking about like where you go to a restaurant. The best pizza. That if somebody
not
was from
just-
out of town and came over here, where would you suggest them to go eat pizza?
There's a spot in Lansing called Giorgio's,
Okay,
and they get you like some big slices.
Oh, he's going way out of town.
Giorgio's.
Yeah.
I could get that at Kroger, can I?
Ah, nah, because they got like this.
No, I'm thinking of Giorgiano's.
it's
or something
like-
that's a different word.
They got like
Giordano's.
subs, hamburger pizza, all of that, and you could get it, and then you cook it yourself at home. Like you just throw it in the oven, but it's already
like
pre-made.
DiGiorno?
No, it's just one piece.
Okay, Landon, you're not a vegan, are you? You
No,
eat
I'm not a
pizza, don't you?
vegan.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can't tell. The hair's throwing me off, man. You got great hair. Every time I reference your hair, it's because I'm jealous of you. Trust me. I wish, man, I got that Mexican nappy hair, man. My hair is naturally nappy. I'm Mexican. I can't help it. I got that curse. Pizza. If somebody asked you, hey, Landon, man, where can I go to a restaurant and have some good pizza? Where would you say to go?
Go to Luigi's.
Oh! Yes! Yes! Luigi's.
Like
Thank
the
you.
Big squares.
Thank you.
It's the best.
No.
I love it. I love all you guys, man. I love all you. I love you too, man. That's
If you guys have not been, Luigi's is some damn good pizza.
It's the best place to go.
gonna be Terry. That's gonna be hard to top, buddy. I mean, if you say Roma's, maybe Roma's and Beecher, but man, that's gonna be hard to top, man.
Well,
What
Roma's does have some good
pizza
stuff.
pizza
though.
that you would suggest?
I mean, like I first tried it back when my football banquet. It was the opposite of Luigi, but Mario's Pizzeria.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. That's a good one. That's over there on Fenton Road over there.
These guys know
yes,
their
sir.
You
pizza,
know where
right?
Mario's is, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Where we was doing all our shows at right there on Fenton Road,
Yep.
just 800 feet down the road.
Yep.
Luke.
Uno's and Bertrand. That
I've heard of that.
That's
I
Chicago
it's like
style
yeah.
pizza.
yeah, Chicago
pretty good.
style.
Oh, I love
It's
Chicago.
amazing.
Fresh Chicago. Oh, man,
man.
It's
yeah.
so good.
I've been to Chicago. Gino's Pizza in Chicago. It's the best.
Man, you guys are coming up with some good ones.
It'll
You better
wait you
come
down
up with
for a
something
week.
good here. 4 good ones.
There was a
Don't say
I like
say
any
Hungry
pizza,
Howie's.
so any answer gonna be a good one.
there was this place. I think it was in Detroit. It's called Papa John's Buffet, and like you can make your own pizza, and it was super good.
Okay, now let me ask the 3 linemen here a pizza question. If there was a pizza eating contest where they were offering a substantial amount of money to the winner, how many pizzas can you put down? I mean, like how many large?
Boxes?
Like how many large pizzas could you
Boxes?
put down by the box? If
I
there
could
was
put
some
down
money
a
on the
box.
line.
I
Or
could put
who
down a
would put
box and a half by myself.
A box and a half?
Easy.
Couple
but hold
grand on the
on.
line?
I'm gonna say
easy.
if it's money on the line, I give it 4 boxes.
Oh,
4 boxes.
Hey,
yes.
Four
Yes.
large
Smoke
pizzas.
cap.
Yes.
That's cap.
Nah, that's
Man.
not cap. Cheese on the line, yeah, I got you.
When I was in the military, I was able to put down a whole large pizza by myself, and I was full after that. And I was already full.
See, once you get full, you just gotta power through it at that point. You gotta keep going. You
gotta
got
keep
money.
going.
On the
Yeah, you
line.
gotta keep going. Money
You
on
got
the
money
line.
on the line.
Luke, how many pizzas could you
I
put
mean,
down?
like realistically, probably 3 at most, but I wouldn't let him beat me. So
Okay.
So what about
Okay.
Yeah,
what about
alright.
speed? Like who'd get it done?
Speed?
One
Oh, I
large
could get it
pizza,
done way
The
faster.
fastest.
oh, he would get it done before
Yeah.
I would.
I would get it done before.
Sid can just swallow a whole pizza by himself, so it won't even matter.
If we had Jay Lacrosse,
Oh my gosh. Big
Now,
J.
now, Ray, you said the lineman. Now, I've met some skinny guys that can put some food down too. So
Oh, it's ridiculous. Oh, stop it. I used to be a lineman, so I mean,
Hey, Jaden Lacrosse.
Right. Jay
No, no.
Lacrosse.
How many pizzas could you put down?
if I got my favorite drink like apple juice or something, I could wash it down.
Oh my
Like,
man!
3 to
Oh, I
4
need
boxes.
Tums now. Apple juice and pizza.
You ain't never had that?
Give me a thing of Tums, Dan. Lord have mercy. Oh, man, my throat's on fire now, man. All right. What about you, Landon?
How many boxes or slices?
Boxes.
how many
Ah,
pizzas?
he
Large
has
pizzas.
slices.
All right, maybe it's the box. I
Okay,
do-
that's a
Oh
good
my
honest.
gosh.
That's a good honest answer.
Landon's counting carbs.
Okay, now we're gonna talk a little bit of football now. And each question I ask, I'm gonna go down the line or whatever. Obviously, it was a long road to the state title. Okay, you guys worked very, very hard. Other than the state championship game, what was your most memorable game of the year?
The first Lapeer game.
The first Lapeer game? They won that game, didn't they?
Yeah.
Tough loss.
Okay. What do you take on that game as far as your memories of that game?
I mean, it just gave us that mentality, like, after, to really, like, grind it out.
Wake-up call?
for-
Was
Yeah,
that
it
like
was
a
a
wake-up
wake-up
call?
call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Landon?
That was a 2 overtime game.
yeah.
Yeah.
24-21, double overtime.
Either the Lapeer or Romeo game, the first Lapeer game or the Romeo game, because both just kind of like was a wake up call. Like you got to get everything together and go.
What was break down that Romeo game a little bit?
We were down 14-0 at the first quarter, right? And then we came back, ended up winning 35 to
Was it
21.
21,
It was
21.
21.
yeah, 35-21.
Well, they actually had 21-7, so
Yeah, it was
Yeah, it was
21-7 at
21-7.
halftime.
Yeah, we came back.
Yeah.
So
Okay, Terry.
Yeah, that was Romeo. I knew that was memorable because at the half it was 21-7. I was hurt because it was my senior year. I was like, man, we really gonna lose this game. And then it was a wake up call because everybody, before we went to the locker room, I think the Romeo team came into the locker room first, and the team started barking at us. So I was like, wait a
Romeo
minute.
team?
Yes, they started barking at us because they were the Bulldogs. So I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh.
I'm not losing to a team that barks. I'm not losing to them. So I had to put my 2 cents in and help you guys win. But overall, it was just Romeo and the first Lapeer game because it's Lapeer and De La Salle. Those both losses. It helped us realize that we not the top dogs really, but we have to build up and actually beat the best to be the best. So
There you go.
Sometimes you need a loss to realize
Yeah.
what you got to do to get better.
Yep. Luke.
I would say either the Stevenson game or I don't know, probably the second Lapeer game. But the Stevenson game really, that game, I don't think I can basically remember every
Yeah, I
single play.
won't forget that game either.
Because I had messed up my ribs the week before, so I had to sit in a 2-point stance the rest of the season after that. But that game was just a grind, and it was tough because we feel like we'd be coming back, and then we just get like a one-play touchdown, and eventually we just came back and we won it.
Okay.
So
Getting back to Romeo for a quick second here. Every time I hear like the word Romeo, I always ask myself, why does Kid Rock always say I'm from Detroit when you're from Romeo, man? They ain't nowhere near Detroit, is it, Dan? You're from Kid Rock, man. If you're watching this show, you're from Romeo. You ain't from Detroit.
Everybody from the suburbs.
I like Kid Rock though. I like his music. He's from Romeo. I'm from the D, man. No, you ain't. You're from Romeo.
Everybody from the suburbs around Detroit, people around Flint area do it too. If you're from one of the suburbs,
Yeah, but at
it's
least
just-
be close to it.
it's just
Romeo
easy.
ain't even close,
It's
is it?
just easier to say you're from Detroit than say
I mean,
Romeo and
if
having
you're from
somebody
Davison or
ask,
something,
"Where
that's
is that?"
different, man. Because Flint is literally 4 miles from here. That's different.
Yeah.
You know, you're around all them hooligans all the time, and a lot of them hooligans from Flint are moving over here. I just went to that Kroger gas station right there on M15 and Davison Road there.
Yeah.
They got bulletproof glass up there now.
Yep.
I was like, what the heck is this, man? I'm in Davison. I mean, what? My family moved out here or something, or what? I don't know. Most memorable game, brother.
I would say it's the Stevenson game because it showed how much fight that we had, that like how we don't quit, we just keep on going.
Okay.
That's good.
Now I want to talk about the De La Salle game real quick, and I'll let anybody wants to jump in and answer can answer. So what were your expectations going into that game, and then what did you learn coming out of that game?
we were riding too high for that game. Like on the way down, it was too much joking and laughing. We weren't serious enough.
Like we
But
made
we're down there.
we made a whole group chat. It's just like us just roasting each other, and we were just laughing. We thought, what's the worst that's gonna happen? Then De La Salle happened. So, and then it was just a big old wake up call for real.
So
Did you guys have to play without Latrell that game?
Yeah.
Yep.
What happened? What, was he injured?
It was his ankle.
Ankle?
Remember, his ankle got hurt the Lapeer game. No. Because De La Salle was week 4.
It was,
No, it was
uh,
Grand Ledge. It was Grand Ledge.
Grand Ledge, they twisted his ankle.
Okay.
So were you guys joking because you expected to win, or were you joking around because you didn't really have high expectations to win that game?
Well, we really went in like we were going to win. I mean, we were 4-0. We had high hats. I mean, and then
I think it was
I don't know.
6-0.
We were 6-0?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We were 6-0.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I got to say something to Dan real quick before I ask my next question. I know you told me not to go over 2.5 hours anymore because it's a pain in the butt with the editing. This is the last show. I'm not playing beat. I love these kids, man. I ain't playing beat the clock today. We're gonna be done when we get done. You know what I'm saying? I love these kids. Okay. Did everybody get a turn? What was
I
it?
think so.
Getting old, man. What was the last question I just asked?
It was Sidney about his most memorable game.
Okay. Now I got these are more a couple fun questions here. We're gonna start with you like we always do. You can only pick one though, okay? Or you can pick a couple of them. Who's the funniest guy on the team? In terms of every time you're around this dude, he's just funny, man. Everything he says is funny, man. You know how you know people like that. Even when they ain't trying to be funny. You know how guys are just funny. Just to hear their voice, they're funny when they talk.
AJ or Jalen Murray Flowers?
Jalen, oh my god.
Jalen,
Yeah?
Jalen Murray Flowers. Yeah, he's one of them for
You
sure.
gotta have guys like that on the team,
Yeah.
man. That were funny.
You can't have fun to the season without it.
Yeah, if I was answering that question when I was in school, it would have been Mr. Scott. He, I don't know if you guys see that side of him at school, man, but he's, this guy could have took his act on the road. He's one of the funniest guys ever. I almost called him Bob Dylan. I almost said, Bob, your turn. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Landon.
Funniest on the team. Say AJ's one of them. Jalen. I also thought Logan was pretty funny.
When you guys say AJ, you're talking about him.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then one of the funniest dudes, like I can't just pick one because everybody on the team is
Okay.
they're just like
Yeah.
they're dumb. So like it's Caleb, Jalen, CJ, and Sid. He's like a quiet type, but when he says stuff, it's hilarious. It's truly funny.
Yeah.
Like my sides start to hurt. And then yeah, who else? My friend Miles. Miles, he was Miles is like Sidney too. He's quiet, but when he says something, it's like so unusual, but it's very funny. So I can't just have one because everybody on the team is like individually funny.
Everybody has their own kind of humor. That's good, man. Luke, who's the funniest guy on the team?
I think AJ.
AJ?
Easily, yeah. He's always doing something.
So AJ be a kind of guy you want to take a long road trip, like if you're
Yeah.
driving cross country to have that
Yeah.
comic relief off.
Yeah,
I
for
can
sure.
see that.
Yeah, he'd be that guy. He'd make the trip very
Yeah.
very entertaining or very annoying.
Right.
Yeah, it depends.
I think it'd have to
Every
be
now
the
and then.
typical, like, it'd have to be what AJ was feeling that day.
No,
Okay.
if it was a road trip, I might be asleep half the time. I like to sleep in cars. I don't know why. My bed doesn't cut it. I don't know.
Okay, now, obviously AJ's the funniest guy in the team. Who's the second funniest guy to you?
I think it had to be my friend Jace. Because he's
Oh, yeah,
Oh my
he's
god.
saying some funny stuff. I just can't stop laughing.
Bro, Jason,
If you guys ever want to see something funny, okay, you guys like flying in airplanes? Like,
Yes.
you know, when you got to fly, so you guys like flying?
Yeah.
no. I mean,
Okay,
I
who
feel
likes,
like
okay,
Who has not flown before? Everybody's flown.
okay, this is what I've been told a couple of times. Now, I don't like flying. I'm afraid of heights, okay? I only fly if I have to. Now, if you guys want to be around something funny, fly with me somewhere.
Right.
Because, let me see, the first time I flew, I think I was in my 30s. I was in my early 30s when I flown for the first time. I didn't know nothing about flying. I didn't know what turbulence was and all that. I didn't know what none of that stuff was. I knew that they served drinks on the plane. Don't drink on airplanes, okay? Yeah, okay.
Until you're of legal age.
And no drinking on airplane. I'm not, it's not what I'm trying to go there with this. But when I'm flying, I'm that guy that complains the whole time. Like, okay, who's flown?
Everybody.
Okay, so you guys know how the plane drives around the airport a little bit, cut here, and then it go here, and then it just stops. And then you hear that engine getting louder, like real loud to where you can't take it no more. I'm the only one, I'm like in the back. Like the back, if you don't like flying, being in the back is the worst place to be if you're fearful of flying. Because that's where the plane shakes the most. It takes off, just on a dime. You guys know it just takes off real fast, goes real fast, and goes up where you can feel it go up. I told it wasn't a stewardess, it was a guy. What are men called stewardess too, guys that give out coffee and
flight attendants.
Okay, it was a male flight attendant. I said, hey, man, I need a, and I don't even drink liquor that much. I'm not a big drinker. I never have been a big drinker. Mr. Scott has never drank ever. He don't even drink, never drink. He still gets ID'd, like, and goes to the bar because he orders a Coke. They think he's underage. But, anyways, like, hey, I told the flight, even the man is called a flight attendant?
They're all called flight attendants.
Okay,
now.
the flight attendant was a male. I said, hey, man, I need a shot of Jack Daniels and Pepsi. He said, well, you gotta wait till
They get to cruising altitude.
they get to cruising altitude. I said, I don't blank about no cruising altitude. I said, I need something now, man. I said, I'm sweating. I said, my heart's beating real fast. Well, I don't know what you could do. I said, man, listen, man. I said, go get one, or I'm gonna go get myself one. I said, I need a drink, man. I said, I've never flown before. So he, settled my nerves down a little bit. And then later on in the flight, the plane started shaking. And I said, what was that? I'm looking at the lady next to me. I said, what was that? She said, that's turbulence. I said, what does that mean? She said, that's when the plane shakes. I said, the plane's supposed to shake like that? I said, I don't like this flying stuff. And I said, I can't wait to, and then when we were landing, I was in Fort Myers when I landed. Fort Myers, Florida. Right. And I was sitting next to the window, which all I seen was the Gulf of Mexico to my left. And the plane was going down like really, really fast. And look, all I see is water. It looked like we're going in the water. I said, we're getting ready to go in the water. She said, no, we're not. And everybody's just, reading the newspaper, listening to music, talking to the neighbor, whatever. And you want to fly with me if you ever want to fly. Trust me.
If you guys ever get a chance, right? There's an old TV show called The A-Team, right? Not the remake with Leslie Nielsen. The original show, The A-Team. Mr. T played a character called B.A. Baracus, and he was scared to fly. And the guys, they always had to drug him or secretly get him on a plane to fly. That's Ray. That's what Ray is. Go back and watch that. Watch an episode where they take him on an airplane, and that's Ray.
Yeah, I'm that guy.
Oh yeah. Also, one dude that's also funny, Yusuf. Yusuf.
I met him a couple times. He is funny. I met him a few times. That's one of his. You still good buddies with him, aren't you? Yeah. Did everybody get a chance to? Where are we at here? I got caught off guard talking about flying.
So
Who'd I leave off? Who'd I leave off with?
No, you got everybody.
You got there.
You got everybody.
Okay, the next question is, this is a fun one. This is the one. This is like one of Dan's favorites. I want to know who's the craziest guy on the team. Now, when I say crazy, I'm not talking about like violent crazy, a guy that'll just do dumb stuff. I'm talking about like you dare him to do something, he'll do it no matter what. It don't matter what it is.
Gabe Smith.
No doubt.
Yeah, Gabe Smith. No matter.
Or Schmeeks.
Gabe Smith.
No.
Nah, Gabe Smith. Gabe will do anything that you tell him.
Talk about the second.
Like, name something. Name something
Okay,
crazy
so
that you can say on camera.
Freshman year, like we were picking weeds like
Yeah.
for a fundraiser or something, or we were just doing something for.
No,
our
that was
school.
sophomore year. That was sophomore.
But it was his freshman year.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
our sophomore year though. We were just. It was after a workout in the summer. We were going around picking weeds, and this is kind of a messed up story, but they found this frog, and he was like
yeah.
messing with it, and he literally took a bite of it. Took a bite of the frog.
Put the whole thing in his mouth.
Okay, I got you one up, right? Back in my day, in the 90s, there was a football player his name was Russ Tolman. He was notorious for eating crazy stuff in the lunchroom, right? People
Oh
would
my
bring stuff in to the lunchroom. He once ate a can of dog food, right? So he brought in a can of dog. Everybody would collect money. They'd be like, everybody put in a couple dollars, and he'd have like $20. He ate a can of dog food, and then one time he ate a deer tongue.
Deer
the-
tongue?
A
Right in
deer
your
tongue?
cafeteria,
Why
a
do-
deer tongue.
Why do people do stuff like that?
Where do you get your hands on one of those? Like,
Okay,
Hunting.
I'm kind of a funny guy, but
kills the
I
deer.
say funny stuff. I'm not gonna eat no cow tongue or eat
No.
frog droppings or no crap like that. What? That's disgusting. That kid actually did ate a frog.
Yes, he did.
yes.
He's lucky it wasn't one of those poison dart frogs.
We don't have any of those.
Okay, yeah, look, that's those little tiny yellow ones
Yeah,
or the
those
little
little
blue ones or
tree
whatever.
frogs, yeah.
You can't even touch them things. Tell them to eat one of those frogs. If you touch them, you're done. You can't even touch what's the most venomous thing in the world, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
A poison dart frog. Say, hey, what's his name? Smith?
Yeah.
What's his first name?
Gabe.
Gabe?
Gabe Smith.
Tell Gabe, hey, man, eat one of those. Take it out of that aquarium and eat one. Don't dare him to do that. He can't do that. Okay, whose turn is it? Your turn? The crazy guy? Who's the crazy guy?
Gabe Smith.
I mean, you guys all agree.
Yeah,
it'd
we
be
all
Gabe.
Those are-
Okay, who's the second craziest guy?
Logan Pasco.
It's our linebackers.
Yeah,
are
it's
all
just all our
insane.
linebackers.
It's our
Yes.
linebackers.
Makes sense.
Yeah, those guys pretty crazy. Are they like Mark Eckel crazy?
Linebackers in general.
Are they
Yes,
Mark Eckel
yeah.
crazy?
Yeah, they're like
Yeah, probably.
So
Well, you got some crazy boys on your team.
Going along that same lines, who is the toughest guy on your team? Like, who is the Brian Urlacher or the Ray Lewis on your team?
Now,
Like,
when he
It's his
says no,
game.
let me tell you what he means by tough guys. He's not necessarily talking about football. Dan's talking about like, who's the first guy you would take like
no,
in a foxhole to fight Iranians
Gabe Smith.
and know
I
that
mean,
you're going to be
Gabe
safe.
Smith.
I mean that
Gabe
too.
Smith?
Not only a guy that you'd want to have in your back in a foxhole, like he said,
Yeah.
but also on the football team, on the football field.
Sounds
Who's
like
that
that
guy
Gabe.
that's
Gabe
Sounds
Smith.
like Gabe Smith.
Yeah.
stick his head in there no matter what?
Gabe
Yeah.
Smith. It's definitely him.
he hit a kid so hard in the season that a whole chunk of paint just flew off his helmet.
Wow.
That's
I get some film on this.
That's
Gabe
crazy
Smith.
because the guy I was talking about, Russ Tolman, he was that same exact way. He played nose guard, and he was not the size of a nose guard. He was the size of a small
Yeah,
linebacker.
Gabe's
Smith
played
does that
not
too.
and
nose
he
guard
played
too.
nose guard, and dude was just insane.
Yeah, he'll play nose guard in one of our packages,
Yeah.
and then he's an outside linebacker most of the time, but he'll come up and go against big guys sometimes.
Wow. We think Terry.
It's Gabe Smith. No matter, I don't. It's unanimous. Like,
Yeah.
he does-
Unanimous Gabe Smith.
It's Gabe.
Sounds like, man, that guy sounds pretty tough.
Okay.
Okay, next question. All you guys are smart, okay? Because you wouldn't be playing for Davison if you weren't smart. But who would be a guy that you could see teaching literature at Harvard
Miles.
years
Brett.
from now? Like, who's that
Brett.
kind of smart?
Brett and Miles.
Brett.
Brett or Miles. Yeah, Brett Morgan or Miles.
Brett Morgan?
Yeah, Brett Morgan or Miles.
And what's Miles' last name?
Mitchell.
Miles Mitchell.
Miles Mitchell.
Yes.
Those guys are really, really smart, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, your turn. I'm going to start with you again. Who's your favorite NBA player?
LeBron James.
Yeah?
I think we established that earlier.
I know, but the people we're addressing the people now. The people weren't around for that. Why is it LeBron James?
He's the most dominant player to ever touch the league. No, not most dominant. He's the second most dominant player to ever touch the league, and he's the greatest athlete.
He's the
to
second.
touch
Who's
the
the
court.
first?
Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh.
Just tell me he's not. He's
not.
not the most dominant player to ever
not.
touch the league.
Nah.
Who's
He's
more
not.
dominant?
He's
Who's
one
more
up.
dominant?
When you say dominant, like,
I'm saying like absolutely destroy people.
all right, man. I told Judson Anderson to watch this episode, but he ain't gonna like. Judd ain't gonna like what I'm about to say.
We
but
could
I'm
be
gonna
here
say
for
it anyway.
hours educating these young dudes about
Well,
basketball.
no, I mean, no. I mean,
Didn't
They-
Shaq get like he got bodied by Yao Ming and his like
Yeah, that one person.
Wilt Chamberlain was pretty dominant.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
he was versing like math teachers, like short little white.
Right.
See, he said the same thing I did.
What'd he say?
They was versing short little white dudes, man. There's nothing he could do.
Short little white.
It was like, bro, the tallest point guard back in the
Shaq.
back then.
Who was Shaq dunking on back then? Greg Ostertag,
I mean, like he tried to dunk on
Brian
Yao
Big
Ming.
Country
everybody.
Reeves, and Kevin Duckworth.
I mean,
I'm just kidding.
he tried to dunk on he tried to dunk on everybody.
Shaq broke backboards. I mean, what
did.
else can you ask from
He
him?
got out
man?
before
You guys, you probably won't know him by his name, but he's that famous voice. Back when Michael played for the Bulls, he was a guy that was always hollering and screaming, Michael Jordan, yes, that big, tall Johnny Red Kerr. Wilt Chamberlain once dunked the ball so hard that he broke Johnny Red Kerr's foot, broke his foot with a dunk. Broken foot.
What?
Yeah, Wilt,
How you do that?
That doesn't even make sense.
that's legend has it that he did that.
Oh, so it's not true then.
Now, let me say this about LeBron, though. I've been saying this for a while now. He ain't one of my favorite players, but I will say this, though. A lot of people hate him, obviously, because of how great he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you get in arguments, LeBron ain't all that, it's because he's great. That's why they say that. Now, I think that if he stays healthy for another 3 or 4 years, if he breaks Kareem's scoring record, all-time scoring record, and, has maybe 4 championships or 5 under his belt when he retires, I'm going to call him the greatest player of all time. He's going to replace Kareem, for me, if he does that. Let me see. I think he can win 2 titles with the Lakers now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got to win some
I
more
think they'll
titles
win
first.
Yeah, they got a squad
I don't
this
know.
year.
He has 5 championships. and
Especially
breaks that
with
scoring
Kobe
record.
just dying too. They're finna go
don't know.
He
crazy.
leads the league in assists this year. You know what I'm saying? LeBron leads the league in assists.
I get what you're saying, but the Clippers, they have beat them every time they played. Like
And
doesn't
Clippers
mean
don't want that
nothing,
smoke.
man.
They don't want that smoke in the playoffs, man.
everybody says that.
LeBron
LeBron's
goes
a different
into a
breed,
different mindset when he's in the playoffs.
So does Kawhi. What do you mean?
No, I won't hear that.
I got
I
nothing
won't
but
hear
love
that.
for
Dazzle.
Kawhi. No, I got nothing but love for Kawhi. I'm telling you right now, if Durant was healthy last year,
Oh,
Kawhi ain't raising.
I
Toronto ain't winning
Uh-uh.
nothing
Oh,
if
yeah.
Durant was healthy.
Right.
No,
See, CJ,
Do you remember what Kevin Durant was doing before he got hurt in the play? He had like 4 or 5 straight games with 40 plus
Yes.
points against the
Because I
Houston
mean,
Rockets.
he's a threat. Like he can dunk, shoot, and he can still pull up for
disgusting.
middies too. Like I don't know how
like
to guard
7
that.
foot,
Like
too.
you can't guard that.
Okay, now I'm gonna ask you another question, and then I'm gonna go to Landon. Tell me an NBA player that you wish you could have seen play that played before you were born.
Michael Jordan
Michael Jordan?
or Shaq. Michael Jordan or Shaq.
Okay. If you ever want to watch Michael Jordan, watch those Bad Boys films when he was beating them every year. What you say, Landon? You got a favorite NBA player?
Kyle Kuzma.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Kuz?
Yeah.
I was in Peoria. I lived in Peoria, Arizona, but this was when I was on vacation out there. There was an NBA legend I spotted walking. Ralph Sampson's the name. I was talking to him, and we was talking about Kyle Kuzma. What do you like about Kyle Kuzma?
Well, his mom's cousins with my mom, so like
Okay,
I see his mom play.
so
but-
you're kind of related to him.
Yeah.
Then.
And so, I mean, I think it's cool just like someone local just got big and stuff like that, and someone that I knew.
Yeah, he came to Davison for a little bit.
Did he?
Yeah, he went to Dave's.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, he went to Davison before he went
Yeah.
to Bentley,
Yeah.
or he went to Bentley, right?
He went to Bentley, then he went to a prep school.
Okay, but he spent some time in Davison. I don't know if I didn't know that. Did you
I
know
didn't
that?
know that either. No.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine hanging out with him and Kyle Kuzma at the same time? you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, Terry, who's your favorite NBA player?
you guys not gonna like it. James Harden.
Oh my God.
He's
What y'all don't? What,
He's
you guys hating
nice,
on him,
but I
James
mean,
Harden?
I mean, like he'll average 50 points a game, but like they'll almost lose to a trash team. So it'd be like the Suns. They'll lose, but I mean they win by like 3 points. But he took like over 40 shots and like 20 free throws.
Yeah. And 10 travels a game.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, he do make people fall, and he's also left-handed.
Step back.
That,
Yes.
that tap show back, drop back three he shoots.
Step back. Yeah, step back. I like Harden. People hate on you for that, huh?
Yes.
I think, well,
A lot of people don't like him.
a lot of people don't like him because I like him. First of all, I like him, but you look at a lot of his like 48-point games and 52-point games. He's going 16 for 42 from the field. I think that's what people look at a lot.
I shifted away from James Harden because he starts shooting the three way too much. Like his game is reliant on the 3-point shot now. Like he used to be a more all around player, but he's kind of drifted to jacking up threes all the time.
Because, like, if you think about it, who else is there? Like, because, like, since they traded Clint Capella, their lineup is, like, I don't have a guy over 6'9".
Oh yeah,
anymore,
we saw
so.
it, but they beat the Lakers with that small ball lineup though.
James Harden, he's ugly. That boy's ugly, ain't he?
You see him without his beard?
No,
No, that's even worse.
can't imagine he looks much better, but he's got a nice looking girlfriend though, man. That's just another example, like the Scottie Pippen example. That's another example of what fame and fortune can do for you, man. Because James Harden is ugly. I don't care. Luke, wait a minute. I think you like LeBron, don't you?
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Why?
He's just,
I didn't mean why. Like why?
Hey, Luke,
Tell us why.
Pull that microphone over closer towards you.
ever since so before when OKC had Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook and they had that really good team,
Yeah.
and they were up 3-1 on the Warriors. I didn't like the Warriors. I haven't really ever liked the Warriors. When they came back and they beat OKC, I was super unhappy. Like I was so upset about that. And then
That was 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, I remember that series.
Yeah, 2016.
Yep.
LeBron came back, and LeBron and Kyrie, and they came back down from 3-1. And ever since then, I mean, like in that series, I just kind of like started liking him a lot more.
Would that
And then after that, he's just my favorite.
if Golden State, when they were up 3-1 on Cleveland, if they would have sealed the deal, would that have been the greatest team of all time, better than the '96 Bulls?
They still did have the greatest team of all time.
I mean, but yeah, if
They
did.
did.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah, but
For
you
sure.
gotta-
They
you
had
gotta
the
win a-
greatest
you gotta
lineup
win
that
a champ-
everybody's
You gotta
ever
win the
seen.
championship, though.
I'm just saying they
They did
did
win.
have the greatest lineup that everybody's ever seen, but they just couldn't.
Golden State did.
Yes.
Greatest lineup, greatest team are two different things.
They had the.
They didn't have the greatest lineup. Like,
On
They had the
on
greatest
paper, you
lineup,
could
for
say
sure.
Clay, Durant, Curry, Draymond was
Yeah.
a pretty good lineup. But
That was disgusting.
yeah, that was. He's talking about before KD came up there. Before KD.
Way before, like the year
the
before.
original,
KD,
okay, yeah.
The Lakers once had a lineup that had Magic, Kareem, and James Worthy. You guys ever heard of James Worthy? Big game James? You ain't never heard of James Worthy.
No.
Terry, you ever heard of James Worthy? Landon?
No.
Magic Johnson, Byron Scott, James Worthy.
When you after the
AC
show's over, you just go to YouTube, just type in Magic to Worthy. Worthy, like back in my Bad Boys days, we couldn't mess with James Worthy,
Yeah.
man. He was even when we lost to them and we beat them, man. Worthy was scorching us, man. Now, I never did ask you who, before you were born, if you could watch a player before you were born, who would have been your favorite player? You think
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan?
Or like Isaiah Thomas in the Bad Boys.
My man.
Like,
See,
just to see both of them play.
my man. Thank you.
If you ever get a chance,
Ooh,
the 30 for
Allen
30 on the
Iverson.
Bad Boys, check that out.
That's a really good
Oh
one.
yeah, that is really good.
Terry,
Yeah, with like CJ, what you just said, Allen Iverson.
Yeah, Allen Iverson.
that's a good one.
The answer.
That's a good one. What about you, Luke?
Definitely Michael Jordan. I feel like I didn't, you don't see. I mean, he obviously has a lot of highlights and stuff, but I never got to like see like a game.
Yeah.
All that.
See, that's why I feel bad for the kids in this generation because they all talk about LeBron and they all hype up LeBron.
Hey, LeBron deserves every bit of it, man.
But if
LeBron's
they-
the man.
But if they got a chance to watch Michael Jordan, it would change your opinion. Like, we go back to the question before we get to Sid, the question about CJ, the most dominant players in the NBA, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. The two most dominant players to ever play because they might not have been big guys.
Here we go with this
Them-
Chicago Bulls and
and-
Michael Jordan stuff with him.
Michael
Okay, hold on.
Jordan
I
is
don't even. No. That's what you talked about the Bulls enough last week. We ain't getting into that. Just stop right there.
No, let me say one quick thing.
If it's about Chicago or Michael Jordan, I don't want to hear it
It's about
because we're not
Kobe.
here to talk about.
It's about Kobe and Jordan.
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear it, and they don't want to hear it either. Okay. Anyways, who you like, man?
Well, I'm not really a basketball person, but ever since I was little, I watched Space Jam. Jordan growing up, that's who I
Aren't they coming out with a Space Jam 2,
Yeah,
or did they already come out with
LeBron.
that?
They're coming out with it. LeBron.
It hasn't came out yet, but it's coming out.
They're filming it.
It comes out this year.
I
like,
guarantee
towards
it's
the
not
end
gonna
of the
be
year.
good. I guarantee it.
I feel like it's gonna be like one of those like bootleg kind
See-
of ones.
see,
like
I
the
actually-
throw off, like the throw off kind of. Like,
See, I actually, even though I kind of feel like I grew up in the golden era of basketball, I would have liked to have grown up in this era too, because you think about somebody like LeBron James. My buddy George said it perfectly. He said, imagine when we was in high school, and you think about like Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan having a kid together, what that kid would be on a basketball court. That's what LeBron James is basically. But you know, but he's got Karl Malone's body. You know, that's It's hard to see that when he retires. It's hard to see that there's going to be a better player than him. But I mean, there usually is. But I got to
It'll
see
be
it
his son.
because
As far
LeBron
as-
is something special. I'm telling you
It'll
right
be
now.
Bronny.
The people that
Bronny's
hate
gonna
him,
be
the
disgusting.
people that give you grief all the time and act like they hate him, when he retires, ooh, yeah, the NBA is going to miss him.
Now, as far as athleticism, LeBron's hands down the most gifted athletic player. Not only in the NBA but maybe of all sports. His athleticism, the size of that is with that athleticism. He's
You're just talking about pure athleticism.
athleticism.
You didn't
I
see
feel like
Bo
he could
Jackson?
play
You don't
any
remember
Bo
Bo
Jackson.
Jackson?
Yeah, Bo Jackson.
Athlete?
is
No, yeah, I
disgusting.
get it. I get Bo Jackson, but LeBron at that
LeBron's
size, the
is-
things that he can do and the athleticism that he,
Because
you know,
just think about it. LeBron could technically play any sport that he wanted to.
So can Bo
he
Jackson.
could.
But think about it. Like in all reality, he really can right now.
So
At his age
maybe
right
not
now, he still
basketball.
can.
Bo Jackson probably could. Maybe he could, maybe couldn't. But
Man, if he play football, man, he wouldn't want to see this smoke. LeBron playing football. You already got basketball. You're the best of basketball. You
LeBron-
can't have every sport.
LeBron would be a
'Cause back in my
Gronk
day-
type tight end.
Yeah, he'd be
in
a tight
football.
end. Yeah.
Back in my
Yeah.
day, we had what was called it was called a bang eight. I don't know if you guys ever heard of a bang eight. A bang eight is when that receiver ran that little skinny post and that safety was waiting for him and they pop him. You can't do that now. I'll give LeBron a bang eight.
LeBron, he was one of the top
No, I don't want that.
receivers coming out of his recruiting class.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
when he played in high school.
Okay. Well, we had a 5-star player on our team, Weathers,
Andre
and he,
Weathers.
you know, he tasted that cast a few times in practice. I wasn't scared of anybody with them kind of credentials, even Weathers. So, now football. We're gonna go football now. NFL. Who's your favorite NFL player?
Right now or of all time?
Well, right now and then after that, we'll answer a different question.
I'd have to say Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson or Leo Collins.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson.
Kind of reminds me of Randall Cunningham, but probably quicker and
Yeah.
faster. I never thought anybody would be quicker and faster than Randall Cunningham, but man, I can't believe what he's doing right now. Now, will he be able to do that for a long time to play at that kind of speed and level?
No.
I mean, heaven forbid he should get injured. I don't ever want to see any athlete get injured, obviously, but
It's,
I mean, that's like
a
a-
proven fact, though. Like, any quarterback that's a running quarterback. Is
Yeah,
usually
especially when they
don't
run like
last
that.
long. Yeah,
Guys
they
like that don't
long.
last very long.
Yeah, no,
Michael
really.
Vick was probably the last guy you could compare him to.
Right.
And even though his career was shortened because of his legal issues, when he came back with Philly, he just took too many hits and it cut his career short.
now, who would you want to watch?
Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders? Is everybody going to say Barry Sanders?
I was gonna say Bo Jackson.
I would say Bo Jackson.
Or Eric Dickerson.
Eric Dickerson. Look at him.
Damn.
Okay.
I
No,
love
okay.
him play, too.
I used to love Eric Dickerson. I liked him when he played with the LA Rams when he had the Jerry curl and wore the
Yeah.
goggles.
This is an old
With
one,
the
but,
neck roll.
The thing about Eric Dickerson, though, I've never seen nothing like it, man, because like when he was in the open field, he looked like he was running slow.
Right.
But he wasn't, because he would get separation from the secondary, and he didn't even look like he was running fast. That's a good. What you know about Eric Dickerson? What, your uncles or something? They was fans of Eric
Nah.
Dickerson? Do you know? I wasn't expecting that name to come up, man. That's good. I like that. Well, what do you think, Landon? Who's your favorite player now?
Now,
Don't say Tom Brady.
Why? Why can't he say Tom Brady?
I like Tom
Why?
Brady.
Because
was just
like as
thinking-
handsome as Tom Brady?
Because he's I'm a Michigan fan, so I like Tom Brady. 'Cause he came
My
from
man,
Michigan.
my
I'm not
man.
a Patriots fan. I'm a Raiders fan, so I like Josh Jacobs, the Raiders.
I play this guy in Madden all the time, and he's always using the Raiders, and I can't stop Josh Jacobs.
Man, that was when I was growing up. That was my favorite team, was the L.A. and Oakland Raiders. I used
Hey,
to love
Landon,
the
your
Raiders.
dreams may come true. Tom Brady might be a Raider next year.
You don't
Isn't,
know.
isn't
I
He
set
might,
himself all
you
the
never
time that he
know.
might be a Raider, and he gets so mad
The
about it.
Patriots are my favorite team, but don't call me a bandwagon now. But I grew up watching the Patriots because my parents, or like my dad and all that side of the family, he's from Michigan and we're all Michigan fans.
Yep.
So they were just watching the Patriots and stuff, and I've always grew up watching them. So
Okay.
they're my favorite
Yeah.
team, and Tom Brady's my favorite.
I wouldn't call that a bandwagon. I mean, you were born in like the early 2000s. I mean, that's all they know. That ain't bandwagon.
A lot of people from Michigan are Patriots fan because of the Tom Brady tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's like I practically lived my life vicariously through that because that's the only thing, as a Michigan football fan, it's like all I got. I could cheer for Tom Brady winning Super Bowls. That's all I got. Matter of fact, I was in Indianapolis yesterday. Drove by Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yep.
Once again, made me think of Jim Harbaugh, somewhere we haven't been yet. We can't talk about Jim Harbaugh today. I don't have my Crown Royal bag here, and I already told you ain't gonna be no cussing on here today. Now we didn't go to Terry yet. Who's your favorite player?
I'd say Jarvis Landry.
Okay.
Juice.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about historical player? Like who would you like to have seen? Well, you already said Barry Sanders. Other than Barry Sanders.
There's two. One was old, like very like Jim Brown, and
That's a good one.
then Ernie Davis was
Another good one. That was his teammate.
Ernie Davis didn't die when he was young.
Oh,
I'll
so-
probably
Yep.
watch him.
Hey, you're a student of the man. These guys are students of the game, man.
Yeah.
These guys watch them Steve Sable NFL films or something, man. That's good stuff. Those are good, respectable answers. What about you, man? Who's your favorite player?
I like JJ Watt.
JJ Watt.
Oh yeah, solid.
Awesome player.
What? The hate and the disrespect on JJ Watt.
What's wrong with JJ Watt? What's wrong
Oh
with that?
my gosh.
Who's talking bad
disres-
about JJ Watt?
Just not,
He's at 7 on. He just like 7 on 7.
No, I
Right.
don't. That's
You're
not
not
his
about
fault.
the contact. You don't like the
Who?
trenches. You don't
Who?
like the trenches.
I mean, it's not my fault that people can't catch me. That's just
Yeah,
that's just
okay,
me.
okay.
You
Typical
saw what
talk
happened.
of a
You
white
saw what
man.
happened
Hey, and
in
he
the
can't
stadium.
catch them on Stockbox then.
Okay. We on that? Really? I can't. What are you talking about? The first
Okay.
3 games, I've been putting players in the dirt. What do
Okay.
you mean?
Okay.
Oh Lord, all right.
Check the film.
Okay, we can check
Film
the
don't lie. All right, we'll look at
Yeah,
the
film
film
don't lie.
later on. We'll look
Now
at-
you-
but
now
but
you
we're
see.
also we're gonna look at film with you getting busted up too, though.
When?
Oh,
When?
yeah.
When
I
did
mean,
I
yeah.
get
Hey, ain't nobody here a perfect
Please.
player. We're gonna look at film you getting busted up also. All right, Sidney. How about somebody like before you was born?
I don't really have any.
No.
No?
Okay, you said Barry Sanders. What about Joe Montana? Jerry Rice,
Ooh, Jerry Rice,
All right,
Randy
go ahead, Jerry
Moss.
Deion Sanders.
Oh my
Prime time.
gosh.
Chad Ochocinco.
No.
First
Ray,
one to bring the headband
Doesn't
around the
Sidney
neck to
remind
the
you of a
knee.
young Rock Johnson?
No, Deion Sanders. I rather put.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson?
Hey, from Central Intelligence.
Kinda. Yeah. Yeah, he does. Kinda. Oh man. Yeah, he does, man. Now let me. Okay, now who said they were seniors this year?
Me.
Raise your hand if you're a senior. You're the only senior.
Just AJ.
Yes, sir.
Do you have plans? You say you're going to Wayne State.
Yes, sir. I'm going to Wayne State.
Are you gonna thinking about pursuing football or playing
No.
more?
Basically, I'm going there for academics. I'm gonna study kinesiology, and then I will go into physical therapy school, and then
Oh, that's good, man.
after that, I'll probably just open my own business.
So you got goals, then. You got goals.
Yes, sir.
No plans to play football at Wayne State? Try to walk on?
Oh yeah,
or-
yeah. Oh, I got a scholarship to play there.
Okay.
So that's where I signed. I think February 5th.
Okay.
Wayne State, and I'm just trying to play wide receiver there because every team wanted me to play defensive back. I'm not really feeling that because like how Richard Sherman got burnt in the Super Bowl, I don't want that.
Burned in the Super Bowl.
I don't want that.
What is so spectacular about Richard Sherman?
He was pretty good.
He was.
Is it because
Yeah,
of
he
his
was-
mouth?
Yes.
Is it because of his mouth?
Yes,
He was still good.
yes. He was good when he played at the Seahawks. though.
Because I mean, I don't really watch much NFL. I haven't really watched much NFL since like 2004. I watched the playoffs, but I don't really watch.
Yeah, NFL.
And I see this Richard Sherman a lot. Okay, and now granted, I haven't watched a lot of regular season or playoff games. I don't know how good he is, if he is or not. But every time I see him, it ain't making great football players because he's like doing this about something. Is that why he's great? People like him.
Well,
like,
he-
oh,
he's
look
a-
what he said.
He's a big talker.
Yeah.
Can he back it up? Because I watched the Super Bowl.
He did with Seattle.
He didn't
Yeah,
impress
when
me.
he was at Seattle, he talked way more, and he
Yeah.
can back
Yeah,
it up for sure.
he's gotten
Yeah.
slower. Like,
Yeah.
In his prime, he's at the tail end of his career, but in his prime, he could back up the talk.
Yeah.
And right now, the you could say that the best all-time like lockdown corners are probably Charles Woodson, Darrell Revis, and Richard Sherman. He's got himself to that level.
Yeah, where's primetime at?
Primetime wasn't a lockdown corner. He made some big plays in better exception, but he wasn't a lockdown.
Just
corner.
roll with the punches. When he's actually smart when we talk. Just some of his opinions are a little out there. Just roll with
actually,
the punches.
what do you think of Jalen Ramsey?
Jalen Ramsey,
what do you think of him?
he's a real good corner. Didn't have a great year last year. I think his off the field stuff, trying to get traded and stuff, kind of distracted from his season. But prior to that, he's been one of the league's best lockdown corners.
Now let me ask you guys something. No, who are your favorite college teams? Michigan, Michigan State, or
Michigan.
someone else?
Michigan or LSU?
I know Luke likes Michigan, and I know you like Michigan. You're a Michigan guy.
Yeah.
Terry?
I mean, it's kind of like my NFL team. I like Michigan State, but they're not
Here
good.
we go.
When it comes to the playoffs, like Michigan State, they just make me mad. Like just like Green Bay, make me mad too. They lost to San Francisco, and it just hurts my feelings every single day. I see that they lost.
And who's your college choice? Michigan. So we got two. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3 Michigan and 2 Michigan State guys. What do you guys think of D'Antonio leaving like that? For the Michigan State guys, what do you think of D'Antonio leaving like that?
I mean, to be honest,
The time has come.
You want to know the real reason that he left? The official.
Wasn't there a
I know
case
the
against
official
him or
reason.
something? Somebody was
2 weeks
suing
ago.
him.
2 weeks ago, I had a podcast show at Luigi's, and I told the guy I was interviewing. I said, when I interview him, if he gets rude like that on me, I told him what I was going to do to Antonio, and that guy resigned a week later. So that's why he resigned, because he saw my podcast. He's scared. Yeah, he knows. That ain't the reason. But I did say that. I said, I can't stand that idiot. But I'm one of those guys. I hope that you guys get a good replacement, because it means more to beat you guys when you guys are good than to go what we've been going through the last 20 years. But I don't know. What about the basketball team? Michigan State basketball. They gonna make a run this year?
yeah. Oh, most definitely. Because Cash
probably
is
not.
Winston, and he's just a bucket. I mean, nobody can stop him. Y'all try to.
So who goes farther in the tournament?
Michigan
Is
State.
those Spartans or
It'll be Michigan State.
Howard's Wolverines?
And
Michigan State.
is Michigan even gonna be in the tournament?
Oh yeah, they'll be in the tournament.
Yeah. No, they're not doing that great this year, but
I know. I'm imagining they'll probably go through some bumps like this next year too. But to me, college basketball is about recruiting, and I think Howard is going to recruit very, very nicely. And I think even Jalen Rose, man, even though he ain't on the coaching staff, I think he might be recruiting some Detroit kids, hopefully, taking some of them Detroit kids from Tom Izzo. I don't know.
Somebody needs to recruit Imani Bates.
What-
From,
Right,
Ypsilanti.
Money Bates.
Yeah, they said he might be like the next KD. He's like,
He's the #1 recruit in Michigan right now.
yeah, that's what
Yeah,
they
he's
need.
nice.
Michigan State had that. It's over.
Yeah, he's nice.
It's over.
You guys play basketball for Davison too? Got any basketball players at the table?
I should have been on the team, but
Stop.
I'm a bucket. I'm
Hey,
a walking
AJ,
bucket.
you said you were a baller. You play basketball for?
No, I had to hang that up. I had some issues off the court, and I was like, nah, I can't deal with it. So I do powerlifting now. So I do miss hooping. I really do.
Well, let's give some shout outs, man. Who are some of the good ball players on Davison's basketball team?
Brendan
Po-
Sullivan.
Positive shout outs. Don't be running.
Sully.
Don't run your mouth or nothing.
Yeah,
Sully.
Brandon Sullivan,
Rashad Smith,
Yeah.
and
Rashad Smith.
Jimmy Collins. He came from
Yeah,
Grand
Jimmy
Blanc.
Collins.
Everybody get broke, man.
Rashad did
Michael
too.
Jordan got broke.
See, they
Kobe
listen.
got
They
broke.
listen to me well. Huh?
LeBron got bodied this year.
Everybody gets broke, man. You play if you play basketball every single day. Every now and then you're gonna get broke by
I ain't
somebody. That
never
happens
got
to everybody. How you just gonna single
You
a
don't
man
play
out
defense.
getting broke? Everybody
You
gets
don't play
broke.
defense. What do you think? I'm a Patrick Beverly. I'm
Can't
a
clamp me
defensive
up.
phenom.
Can't clamp me up.
I beat you like 11-4.
No, you
I
didn't.
don't want to hear it.
No,
CJ,
you
you're
didn't.
not good.
You're buns.
Okay,
Dude,
let
come
me
on, man. Don't hate on
let me
me.
change
Said
the-
you never beat me. Don't cap.
let me change the question here. Let me hold on. We won't talk about the basketball team. I tried to give them plugs. Obviously, that ain't working. Now, of all the football players that don't play on the basketball team, who's the best baller out of them? the football players that ain't on the basketball team.
Trell.
Me.
Trell.
No, Yusuf, he's just tall.
I've never seen Trell actually play though.
No, he-
Yeah, Yusuf's
he's-
good. No,
he's-
Trell's a
Every
bucket.
time I've seen Trell play, he's just messing around.
No, like he
I've
used
never
to.
seen him play.
No,
I
before
don't know. Who
football,
else,
he
though?
hooped. He played. He got off of
Guys,
Virginia Tech.
listen. Try
They're
to
Michigan.
like compliment the student body here. I don't want to talk about people getting broke, and we're trying to talk good about these guys,
positive.
man.
Oh yeah, that's
This
what
is
I'm
yeah. Dan, you got to help me out with this question here, man. Okay. Who's the best? I'm gonna try one more time. Who's the best basketball player on the football team that doesn't play on the high school
It's gotta
team?
be me.
But without naming yourselves,
Oh.
who would be like the best
the
player?
wide receiver
Trell or
says
Yusuf?
himself.
Latrell don't play on the basketball team.
He got hurt this year
Yeah.
with his elbow or whatever, his shoulder.
Man, I seen a picture of him on the football field where he's like contorting his body. He literally looks like he's 54 inches in the air. And you're telling me that he don't play on the basketball team?
Well, he used to hoop, but he couldn't this year. Like he got hurt with his arm, and then he
was hurt
couldn't
this
play
year.
this year.
Okay, did he play last year?
He didn't he play last year at GB?
No, he played at Goodrich. He did play last year. But
Okay.
then he's No, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He
Yeah.
played at Grand Blanc. Yeah.
And then he switched like end of the season to Davison.
Right. Yeah.
He's at I think he's at a 7-on-7 game right now. He would have been here today.
Yeah.
Now the Fordhams, he's got a good bloodline because I went to school with his cousin Mike Fordham. Mike was played in the trenches. He was an O lineman and D lineman. Played at the University of Illinois.
Yep.
And he runs that new, or he's one of the guys that runs that new Flint Cultural Center Academy on Robert T. and
Yep.
75. I don't know if you guys ever been there, but you guys need to go there and check it out. It's a brand new building. They got all kinds of activities that you can do there. You can play basketball there. They got, you can work with little kids there. Guys like yourselves that are like state champions that people look up to. Kids would love to see guys like you there. You know what I'm saying? So you guys need to go check that out. Now let me say this for the guys that are coming back to Davison next year, which is the 4 of you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I think. You think about the way that this season was, how hard you guys worked, okay? Like you guys talked about some of those games where you said it was a wake-up call. They were lesson learners. You mentioned what was it, the Stevenson game?
Yeah.
The
De La
Lapeer,
Salle.
they mentioned Lapeer, De La Salle, Romeo. You gotta understand something. It's not a mistake that you guys won the state championship. Obviously, you guys worked very hard. You guys have outstanding coaches, okay? Weingarts and everybody, not just the varsity coaches, everybody from the JV coaches and whatever, man. Student participation, the students that get behind you, the parents that have their little group that they are part of, man. And then guys like me, I'm not even from Davison. I was, had that Davison fever going, which some people question me on that. Do you guys have a problem with someone like that ain't from Davison, like get behind you guys? I wanted you guys to win. You'd be surprised how many times, well, you didn't go to Davison. Well, how you gonna tell me who to cheer for? I cheer who I want to cheer for. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell. Listen, this is gonna put in perspective on how bad I wanted you guys to win. I'm at a bar called Racer's Bar, eating a Stromboli, okay, and drinking a Coke. Michigan-Ohio State Day, because you guys obviously know you guys had to play at the same time Ohio State and Michigan were playing. Michigan game always comes first for me. Anything. Before anything. They got that, and then the next screen had the Davison and Brighton game on. Obviously, I was taking a peek here and there. I stopped, after that kicker missed our extra point and we scored our first touchdown, I stopped watching that crap. I watched you guys. Watched the whole thing, man. You guys, who was that receiver for Brighton that was making all them
Luke,
great
wasn't
catches?
his name like Luke or something like that?
Aiden Rubin or something like that.
Oh yeah, Ruben. That was his last name. I know that.
Now you guys need to. This is what you guys need to do next year. I mean, well, this could help you next year. Obviously, being more experienced, you're going to be what, a 3-year starter next year, right? Yeah. You guys have to work 2 or 3 times harder than you did this year because now, when you play next year, you're going to get every opponent's best effort. You guys are going to be marked on every calendar that you're going to get everybody's best effort. If you guys continue to be good followers, okay, what I mean by that is I'm talking about your coaches, okay? Because these the coaches you guys got aren't just football coaches, man. These guys care about like it all starts in the classroom. It all starts in the classroom. They care about your grades. They want you to stay out of trouble. These guys like legitimately care about you. It's almost like having another set of parents, you know, like away from your parents. You continue to be good followers. Keep your grades up. First and foremost, keep those grades up. Work hard, and then to the kids that are coming up to the varsity level, you know, you guys will be, you know, working with them, obviously, showing them how it's done. Because you guys, when you guys won that state title, you got to understand something. You didn't win that title because of some poll voting or this is how the committee got together. You guys won the state championship because you earned that right, and you earned it with blood, sweat, and tears. And I can tell by looking at you guys. I personally, like Luke, for example, I grew up with his mother and his father. His dad was a hell of a football player, tough as nails. His father, Ken. You guys know Ken, his father? Built like a professional wrestler. I used to see Luke in the gym with his dad all the time. I think you were probably had to have been 13, 14 years old at the time. And when Luke was in the gym, he wasn't just in there because his dad took him in there. Luke was like working out until he puked in there, sweating. And when he was that age, I saw him showing his dad stuff. Like, no, this is how we're going to do this today. He was leading. And I'm like, I told Ken, I said, man, I told Ken, I said, Ken, man, you make sure this kid's grades stay up. If he has good grades, I said, this kid is going to be a monster. And I think I know that all of you guys have the same kind of work ethic that he does, man. You guys are the leaders next year. And I'm going to say this. I think they're going to win it again next year. If somebody wants to say, are you guaranteeing it? I am guaranteeing it. They're going to win the state title next year. You guys are going to win it all next year. Okay? If you continue to work, you have to work 2 or 3 times as hard, though. I came close to another thing. Let me say this. You guys are going to learn throughout your lifetime. 99.999% of people that have played sports have not won state titles in anything. You'll run into a person now and then might have won a state championship. State championships are rare. Most of the guys you talk sports with, they haven't won a state title. Randy talked about earlier. We were ranked 22nd in the nation. We were 11-0. Of the 4 teams that were left, we were clearly the favorite to smoke everybody. And we got beat by Westland John Glenn. We got beat fair and square. I'm not going to talk bad about them. We lost the game. And then Dearborn-Fordson ended up winning the state title that year. We used to scrimmage Dearborn-Fordson. When we used to scrimmage them, when you scored a touchdown, because you know when you're in scrimmage games, you know, the coaches are on the field and they're doing this and that, substitute people. You know, you go by ones. We would go by ones. We would beat Dearborn-Fordson in these scrimmage games like 13-2, 15-4. You know, going by ones. We would very easy to watch them win the state title was disgusting. But you know, his cousin Mike Fordham, you know, another guy. 2 years before that, in '91, Saginaw Arthur Hill, who was in our conference, they won the state title that year. Mike Fordham's team at Central lost overtime games twice to Arthur Hill, once in the regular season, and then in the playoffs, they lost at Arthur Hill in double overtime. We had a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter and lost. So we were close, but didn't win a state title. I know I shouldn't have guaranteed that victory, but I don't care. You know, that's how I feel, man, because I know these kids are smart enough. Anybody who can reference Eric Dickerson and Ernie Davis,
Definitely know
they got a good head on their shoulders. But it starts in the classroom, though. Okay, you guys have to get the grades. Follower, remember that? Remember the word follower. Follower is not a bad thing. I don't mean when I say follower, I'm not talking about when you're hanging out with your buddies. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your coaches. Because your coaches obviously know what they're doing. They're young. They got fires in their stomach, X's and O's. You just continue to follow, and you guys can win it again. Okay. So, anything? You guys want any parting shots? Anything? Give a shout out. Maybe say hi to your family or anything. You want to say hi to LeBron James? You know, this is his favorite show.
That's what I mean.
Well, before we get to say goodbye, let's talk about the state championship game just a little bit, right? So let's talk about what were you guys' feelings heading to the game, before the game, go through the game, or, you know, maybe some of your memorable plays during the game, and then go through the emotions after the game after winning it.
It didn't really hit me that we were in the state championship until like pregame. Like when we got out there, because coach told us in the locker room, it was like, don't get too distracted by all the noise and the big screen. I didn't listen to him because I think when I made a big play, I looked dead at the screen. That's what I did. And then I think I did that during the middle of a play, and I almost messed it up. But anyways, overall, like my favorite moments was just like how we can just win, like through all sheer determination. We won like the whole thing. Because I remember like during the summer, we were talking about how we were gonna win the state championship. We talked about all our goals, going all conference, all state, all league, and then it just happened. It just mind blowing me. Like on the bus, I slept it off because I was super tired. But overall, I was very excited that we just won the state championship, and like nothing will top that.
Has it hit you guys yet? I mean, because it's been pretty recent. I mean, it wasn't that long ago when it was a couple months ago.
I
Has
think
it?
once we get our rings,
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
it
that's
really
what it hit
is.
us.
that's
Yeah.
gonna be like.
Nah, I'm gonna
Big
show it
shiny
off.
rings too.
Cause I mean, it didn't even really hit me like it felt like a regular game to me the whole time, and it didn't. The state championship, like winning it, still hasn't hit me.
Any of you guys, you know, and it's okay. Like before the game, was anybody like really nervous, like kind of like butterflies? In the
I mean,
stomach?
I had
Like,
butter. It felt like a normal game, but it was still those butterflies
Yeah.
that you get before every game.
How long into the game did it take you to be like, okay, forget about your in the state title game, and you're just playing another football game?
First play.
Yeah, the first play.
I didn't
First
think
play.
that we'd have that much fans there. It was a lot.
Yeah, there were a lot of
I
people.
can tell
there.
you, as a resident of Davison and alum of Davison, you guys had like the whole town behind your
Yeah.
back. I mean, there was a lot of support.
I have to be honest about something though. When the game was over, and where's Randy at when I need him? He keeps disappearing on me because he can back me up on this. For a few days, I ain't gonna lie to you, I had a little sour grapes after you guys won because it made me think to my days when I was a player. Because it still affects us that we didn't like see it all the way through. Like for like a lot of years, like we lost to Westland John Glenn. That was our only loss of the year in the semis. You can't even bring that game up in front of Randy because Randy will walk out of a room. I think he's gotten better with it over the years, but I had a little sour grapes. Not saying that I wasn't happy that you guys won it, but man, it made me. Did it make you think of our team a little bit? Like, man, I wish this could have been us.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm not trying to live in the past at all, but I think about our team every day. And when I saw you guys going there, I'm like, oh, heck yeah. So, kind of lived it a little bit through y'all. It was awesome. Yeah.
So what was it? Now, what was it like when you guys came back to school, like on that Monday?
It wasn't really any different. They didn't talk
Yeah.
about it.
People didn't really talk about it.
We like sub-state champs.
Yeah.
Like, call each other state champs. Yeah.
You remember that one day? I'm gonna put him on blast here in a fun way, though. In a fun way,
So what did you guys do after
because
the
stuff
game?
like that. Well,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
because it seemed like stuff like this happened like coincidentally to him a lot. It's just his personality. Do you remember that at our school after every game, like when we go to school on Monday, our principal, God rest his soul, Dean Ludwig, he would always give the results. Flint Central, our football team Friday went to Midland High School and won, 35-0, this and that, and then he said, I want to give a shout out to the offensive line who just blocked a heck of a game. Mark Eckel, George Gaddis, Nate Braswell, and Mark Clements. You guys did a heck of a job. He just left him out, man. Gave him no love. He was our starting center, man. Stuff like you didn't get none, man.
It was all about the team, man.
Can
don't
I?
care.
Okay, we'll get back into the Davison stuff here in a minute. I got to tell you a few things about him that you might not know.
You guys don't know me.
Listen, man, I got to tell you that this guy here, we went to he called me one time. He said, "Hey Ray, man, I'm going to Shane Park, man. I got front row tickets to Public Enemy, Naughty by Nature, such and such and such and such." He said, my friend bailed, man. You want to go? I said, yeah, okay, I'll go. The Digital Underground was there too. The Humpty Hump.
Yeah.
They were there too. And that's his favorite group. We're sitting front row. You guys know who Kwame Kilpatrick is? Used to be the mayor of Detroit. Okay, well, back then, the mayor of Detroit, and he had the Nation of Islam with him. He had all these guys with tuxedos on and bow ties and shades on at night. They were sitting behind him. And Kwame was, just dressed like this, sitting next to me. And we're, singing and we're front row. And we're the only white dudes in there, And you guys said you know who the Digital Underground is, right? The Humpty Hump. They did that song, and there was another song where Tupac had a verse in that song.
Yeah.
And Shock G, the leader of the group, said, "Hey, who knows the words to all the song?" And of course, everybody raised their hand. And I'm pointing at Randy. I'm like, "Yeah, right here." I said, "Right here." He's looking around. He said, "Oh, you?" Man, they brought him on stage. He's up there performing with the Digital Underground, and he had 10,000 people going crazy. I mean, he sang the whole song, man. And then after the show was over, Shock G gave him the glasses and the nose and all that, signed it. And he's sitting, while I'm waiting, for the car to warm up, he's hanging out with the Digital Underground, man. I mean, and then the Chris Chelios story, famous hockey player. He's a big Cubs fan. He's a lifelong Chicago Cubs fan. He, when they won the World Series a couple years ago, he wanted to go to Game 7. He just didn't know how to go about doing it. So he was trying to get tickets. Long story short, this famous, Hall of Fame hockey player, Chris Chelios, called him on the phone. And he said, "Hey, man, I got tickets right here, man. $5,000 a pop. I got 2 of them. And, man, we ain't got that kind of money." Chelios, he just gave him the tickets. He just said, "Here, you can have them." Everybody would go through all this mess, drive to Chicago and yada, yada. Chris Chelios called his phone. Chris Chelios would be like, let me see, who would I compare him to?
Oh man.
Picture like someone like Kevin Garnett when he was healthy. That'd be like Kevin Garnett calling your phone and saying, "Here, man, I got tickets for you right here." That's what happened to him, but it was a hockey version.
Yeah.
Just gave him tickets, man. That's just the kind of presence this guy has, man. And no, am I lying? Am I lying about that?
It'd be, yeah, like you said, it'd be like someone like Marvin Jones calling your phone and be like, "Hey, I got some tickets. Want them?"
This guy here, man, look, he's a unique individual. Like, just to look, now I've known him all my life, so I can say the things I'm about to say about him. Just looking at him, just meeting him, he looks like a fat hillbilly from Kentucky. Like a fat hillbilly from Kentucky. He's the opposite of that. He's more ghetto than Terry and I combined. In a good way, He's always at open gym in the hood playing basketball. He goes in the hood, in the jungle in the hood. This guy's at Forest Park playing basketball, just running, playing. What else does he do? What else could I say about you, Randy? He don't like country music. He's never drank alcohol. He's not an alcohol drinker. Never done drugs, none of that stuff. And he's a real East Side Flint guy.
Would you get back to these guys? They don't care about me.
Okay.
I love you, though, right? I love you.
So let's go down the line. Back to the championship game. Go down the line.
Well, okay. But we'll go back to the championship game. But trust me, that guy's more ghetto than you think.
Give me your most memorable moment from that game.
Seeing myself on the big screen.
Shit, the zero's on the clock.
Yeah.
We won. What could be better than that? We won.
Actually,
Did
no.
everybody get a chance to get on the field that game?
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
Well, not.
Yeah.
All right, Landon.
not
what
everybody
about you? What's your most memorable moment from that
It's
game?
like when the clock ran down and it was just like it was over and we were state champs. It was just like and they just like hugging your teammates and like you're just like we've been saying it like all summer. Like some of these guys that played football with since I was in like 2nd, 3rd grade. So like us finally doing it all together for how long we played together and finally getting it done was pretty sweet.
So when you set yourself out to achieve a goal, and then like all of a sudden you achieve that goal, like what was it like? Like say like when you went home and went to bed. Now you're like by yourself and had time to think about it. What was that kind of feeling like? Because I think that's when I would have started to get probably emotional, like, or maybe it didn't hit you till later on or something.
Yeah,
It didn't hit me.
it didn't hit me like
It hasn't hit me.
I went to sleep like it was a normal day.
Yeah.
I did catch a cramp during in the middle of the night. That's what threw me off.
A leg cramp?
Yes, both
Gotta
legs.
stay hydrated.
They say when that happens, they say to bite your bottom lip or something, and the pain will go. I don't know if that works, but
my
next
mom-
time you cramp up in bed with your hamstring, bite your bottom lip. I don't know if that
So
works.
my mom was like, drink some mustard. I hate mustard, so I just
Drink some mustard.
yes,
Like
like
you say,
yeah,
drink mustard and like
Yes.
pickle
Yeah.
juice.
I put mustard on everything. I put
Pedialyte.
mustard on everything.
Pedialyte's good for cramps. Pedialyte's better than Gatorade.
No, I did.
I drank a whole thing
Yeah.
of Pedialyte and like 2 Gatorades after the game.
Yeah, cause I had a like every game, gallon of water, Pedialyte, and I have like a sandwich that somebody made for me. It's just like a good luck sandwich. And I still cramp up both legs.
So Terry, are you the guy that like? Because there's always the one guy on the team that cramps up during games
Oh, yeah.
all the time. Are you
Yes.
the cramped up guy?
Yes.
Because for us, it was a guy named Nate Braswell, always cramping up.
Like I remember we was.
I don't know. Caleb cramps up a lot.
Yeah,
too,
Caleb
though.
cramps up a lot too. But wasn't it Swamp Week? I think after we did like the bleachers, I tried like to jump in the air because I was trying to warm up for something else. Caught a cramp in both legs. I had to sit out.
What's Caleb? We're talking about Smith.
Yes.
What's he like as a person? I've never met him, but
He was
I know his
cool,
dad and his
he's
uncle.
Funny.
He's real
He is
cool.
He's
He's quiet sometimes.
yeah, that's
Is
what I was
he?
about to say. He's kind of quiet.
His family, he's from a good family because obviously you guys know his dad and his uncle run that
Yeah.
carpet business, and they did my mom's kitchen one time, and they were really nice to her, and I go back to like '89 or '90 when I met them guys. Good family. Caleb seems like a good kid. Now who's the guy? Is that his brother? Was he a mayor? Wears suits all the time?
Oh, isn't it Matthew?
Mark?
Matthew Smith.
Is it Mark? Matt?
No, I know who that is, but that should be his cousin. I
Oh,
think.
okay. What is he? A mayor?
No, he's like our school. Like he's something high up in like the school education thing. Or
Oh,
something.
okay.
Okay.
Pretty good guy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
All right, AJ, what about you? Most memorable moment from the championship game?
It was just like the plays I made and being on the big screen, and then like at the end of the game, like we had the victory formation where we had to like spike the ball. I think I was in it. I don't remember, but I think I was in it. And I was just so happy because we've been talking about it. We've been talking about state championship, and then we did it. So that's just just when the clock hit 0-0. So
Okay. Luke?
I think it was in the third quarter, and we were I think it was like 3rd and 10. I think it was like one of our it was our second drive in the third quarter. So when they started coming back a little bit, it was the loudest it's ever been. I was next. We have my friend Isaac. He's our left tackle, and then CJ's next to me, and we were all trying to talk, and we couldn't hear each other, and we were like right next to each other like this, and we couldn't hear anything. And that was probably the most memorable thing.
Yeah.
For me, it was probably like when we got the trophy presented to us, and we just like we lift our coach up over our shoulders.
Oh, that's cool.
Teddy Bruschi always talks about the Lombardi reflection, right? He Teddy Bruschi won a couple championships. He always talks about that moment that he holds the Lombardi trophy up, and he sees the rest of his team in the reflection behind him, like cheering and reaching for the trophy. Like that he always talks about that moment as being like a big moment, winning the Super Bowl or something like that.
Now, up to this point, and I only want you to say one person. Who's the best player that you've played against as an opponent? Best individual player you ever rather lined up against and played against?
This year or just
At any time. At any
Your
time.
whole career.
Like
Like
from
when you look
other
like when you look
schools
back
or-
at like when you look back in your career, 20, 30 years from now, and you're talking about high school football. Who's the one guy that you played against that you'll probably give a little more props to? That was like, yeah, he was a beast. This guy was tough to handle.
Any guys from that De La Salle game stand out?
I got one.
De La Salle was
Well,
nice,
it could be a player from maybe a bad team because, like for me, when I was in school, it was a guy named Daryl Dixon who played at Pontiac Central.
I'd have to say Phoenix.
Phoenix Dixon from the
Yeah, Phoenix Dixon from the
Phoenix Dixon
But
from the
when I
what
had to
position
pull
does he
up-
play?
He plays middle linebacker.
Middle
They
linebacker?
blitzed all game.
he knows the.
Yeah, I got hit by Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got hit by him pretty hard.
He was on. There's a cover for your.
I was on the
after they
front of the
beat
Pierce
us.
newspaper, me getting
Getting trucked.
hit pretty hard.
Oh, he was on the bad end of it.
Hey, it happens, man.
It happens to the best of us.
It happens to the best of them.
I had a message with him about that.
Did he didn't mess your hair up, did he? Okay.
Also, another tough guy. This was in the 7-on-7 at Hamtramck. Antonio Gates Jr. from Dearborn Forts, and he was tough.
Dearborn Forts, and oh my God, I just talked about them.
Yeah.
That's the team who won the state title in Dearborn. Do they still wear the Michigan uniforms with the Michigan helmets? And because when
No,
we were
they have all
playing,
yellow.
Yeah, they were
helmets
like-
now.
when we played against them in high school, it was the exact Michigan scheme with the
Not
maize
Clarkson
pants,
has
blue
that.
helmet to a T. It was Michigan. You look like you're playing Michigan out there. Do they still wear those?
No, they had just gold helmets. Like
Yeah, I
all
think they might
yellow.
Did they get like an F on it or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it
want
was
to
like
hear
a
something
blue
funny
eye.
about that school? when we scrimmaged them, because they spoke Arabic on the line. For obvious reasons, they didn't want us knowing what they were talking about. Well, we had a guy on our team. He was our place kicker, Tom Panoff. Tom could speak 6 different languages. And me, Tyvon Love, I want to say Tyrus Fowler. I'm not 100%. We told Tom to teach us some derogatory terms, making fun of their whatever. Teach us something that we could say to them when we're on the line. And Tom, oh, no, I ain't doing it. We made him do it. He did it anyway. He taught us all these terms. So when we were on the line, we were saying stuff to them, and they were looking at us like, what the heck? And that's not something I should necessarily be proud of. It's just the way we were back then. So that's my Dearborn-Fordson memory when you guys mentioned Fordson. These guys played against Dearborn-Fordson. They did. Yeah. I hate them guys. It's not because of their, religion or it's not why I hate them. I just hate them because we were like so much superior than they were. And to see them hoist that trophy in '93 is the most disgusting thing ever. What about you, Terry?
I think it was my junior year. Josh DeBerry. He went to Boston College.
Okay.
He was defensive back and a wide receiver, and this is the first time he played De La Salle. We thought we were going to beat them. We were talking about we was going to destroy them. Josh DeBerry, I think he had over 4 touchdowns, and they were all fades. They were all streaks.
Yeah, he was.
I didn't play defensive back, but he played defensive back against me. He was probably one of the hardest hitting cornerbacks I've ever witnessed because he hit me in the helmet and almost knocked my helmet off. So I didn't want to go up against him. That was the only time I was like, you know what?
Okay.
I'm good on that. But overall, it was just Josh DeBerry.
Okay. That's a good one. What about you, Luke?
I can't remember the guy's name, but he was my sophomore year when we played Lapeer. He was their defensive end. Because I played left tackle.
Yeah.
And he was super good. Like he was, I don't know, he's probably 6'4". He was super strong. It felt like I was playing J.J. Watt. Like he was like the high school version of J.J. Watt. Like he was super good.
Well, who rang your bell a few times? It happens to all of us.
I don't know his name, but the Romeo game, their left guard, he was super good at pass protection, and I couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man, like I said, it happens to everybody. You guys had different guys, and who was the guy that parted your hair? What was his name? Phoenix.
Dixon.
What? Phoenix is his last name or first name?
That's
First
his
name.
first name.
Phoenix Dixon.
Yeah.
And where's he
number
from?
5.
Where's he from?
Lapeer.
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 Yeah. He was basically like their whole team.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
He
that's
was.
literally how they won the first game.
Him and number 24, Sar. He was. That's his last name. He was pretty good.
Are those two coming back? You guys know?
No,
No,
they
they
both
graduated.
graduated.
Landon's like, thank God.
Yeah, I got my bell rung a few times.
Can't even lie to you. They're not going to be good next year. They're not.
Well, one more NFL thing, and since we're on those lines there, a guy that comes to my mind, Nick Bosa. That would be a guy I would probably end up being a fan of.
I don't know. Joey's better though to me.
I like Nick Bosa.
Joey's
Maybe it's just
better
because I
than
watched
me.
the Super Bowl and it's fresh on my mind. They're both good.
Yeah, she's put a whooping on.
Okay, now for the guys that are coming back, what was the most important thing that I said for next year?
Work 2 to 3 times harder.
Yeah, we're two.
That was one of them, but what's the most?
Follow your coaches.
Oh yeah, follow.
That
coaches.
also was one of them.
And
but
get
what's
done
Keep the grades up.
the grades. The grades. That's number
Starts with
one.
the grades.
Because what can happen to anybody? This could happen to anybody. You guys are champions now, okay? You're not just state champions in your. Do they still do like the 4 different, state champions in division or?
Yeah,
class-
there's like
is
8
it-
now.
Is it still Class A, B, C, and D like it used to be back in the day?
No, it's D1, D2, D3, D4, D5.
And you guys are what?
D1.
The top one.
Yeah.
So you know what that means then? That means that you're the best out of all of them. You guys are the best out of all the state champions. You guys are the best. So that means out of I don't know how many high schools there are in the state of Michigan, but you guys are at the top. So it could be easy to, get a little cocky next year. Get a little complacent.
Yep.
I don't see that happening with you guys because of the leaders you guys have in the coaching staff. And everybody involved, though, because the parents play a role, the students that get behind you, guys like myself, I'm not even from here, I get behind you 100%. Because, I got a lot of ties in Davison, because I was hanging out here, like when a guy named Gabe Williams was throwing touchdown passes here over at that other field. What was that? Collins Field? What was the name of that old field he used to play on? Collins?
Man, I don't remember.
Is it Collins?
Field, yeah, over by the middle school.
Yeah, right by the middle school. I used to be
That's where
there,
he
and Mitch Huffman was there playing, good football player.
Yep.
one of my real good friends, God rest his soul, Jeff Elizondo was a player on that team. I see a lot of good talent come through Davison. We used to scrimmage Ryan Woods, who's one of my best friends, guy that I told you got me eat sushi.
Barry Stokes.
He was Ryan Woods was all Big Nine, 2 years. Barry Stokes played in the NFL.
Yeah.
He played here. Tim Thomas, who was a hockey goalie here, won a gold medal for the United States. Boston Bruins, he was a starting goalie when they won the cup, and he was the MVP or something like that. I saw him play at this school. Kevin Smith, one of the best basketball players ever played at this school, was a good left-handed point guard here. So this school is rich in tradition in all sports. Now, I'm really interested to see what it's going to be. Is the banner already in the gym?
No. It hasn't
When,
been canceled.
is that next year? When do they plan on
We were
doing
supposed
that?
to rise it at Lapeer,
Yeah.
the Lapeer game,
But
but
they didn't get it in
hasn't
time.
got it in here yet.
Okay.
See, like from now until the end of time, like whenever if this school were to close in 60 years, kids are going to see that banner up there. Like in the year 2052, they're going to see 2019 state champions.
Yep.
Like when I was in school, like I went to Flint Central High School. You guys heard of that school? I know you've heard that. You guys have heard of Flint Central High School, right? Well, every day we're in the field house, 81, 82, 83, state champions in basketball. 1958 football, state champions. 1927. I mean, even 1927 meant something to us. That was back in the, prehistoric days. It doesn't matter. It means something, man. So you guys, you guys are a part of something special, something that I wish that I could have been a part of, but I'm happy for you kids.
They still hang the pictures of the athletes in the hallway by the gym.
Yeah, we have ours is not up yet. Even like the cheer team is.
So they got all those pictures up above by the gym doors, right? All those old like headshots, and there's a ton of great athletes hanging up there. Do you guys ever look at those and individually like pick those out? There's some good athletes hanging up on that wall in there.
Now I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do years from now. Okay, if I'm like, let's say like 20 years from now, if I'm still doing something like this, I want to interview you guys again. Like in 2039 or whatever, 20 years after you're, and if you guys are living out of state, as long as you can find a cheap flight, I'll pay for your flight to be on my show so we could talk about it again. We'll watch this episode, and then we'll do another one. We're gonna sit in the same spot. Have Dan the man right there. We're going to do it exactly the way, and we're going to talk about it. When we might be at a bar this time or something. I don't know. But
There's gonna be some old men then.
who? Me or you? I ain't old. I can get down right now. I'll line up against him right now. I ain't scared of none of these. Yeah, right. I ain't stupid, man. I ain't stupid. But okay, you guys did remember everything I said though, because even though the school, everything I said, you guys do remember. You got to work twice as hard, man. Don't let this stuff get to your head because like I told this young cage fighter, it only takes one stupid act to and then you'll be done.
Your entire career.
You'll be done. Okay, you gotta be careful of like the company you guys keep. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna have guys that might want to ride your coattails, and you never know. Like you could be driving down the road and you could have a guy in the back seat you might not know that well. Could have a bag of weed in his pocket. Cop pulls you over. He might panic like, oh, he'll put it under your seat. You know what I'm saying? And when that cop's searching the car, he's gonna. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful. You got to be careful, man. You got to be careful with the girls too. Be careful with them too. I can't really go much into that, but just monitor the company you keep. Because it don't matter if you grew up in a perfect home. It takes one dumb, senseless act, wrong place at the wrong time, and it'll be all over for you or whatever. You have to be careful, man. Just keep listening to your parents. Get them grades. I like what you guys said about your teachers earlier. You guys mentioned 5 different teachers, which was cool. And I don't know what else to say. Where's Danny at? I thought Danny was supposed to come up here and say something.
She's in the other room.
She's in the other room.
Yeah, she's gonna miss her opportunity.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Randy's in there showing him stuff and playing with him?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, guys. This podcast here was, this is the one I was looking more for, because I like hanging out with young student athletes, because that's what you guys are. You're not football players. You're student athletes. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Remember
Okay.
that student part comes first.
Huh? Yeah. Student athletes. You guys are you guys represent the school. You guys are the best of the best. And Terry, you know, I know you're going to Wayne State next year, man. We wish you all the luck in the world, man. Keep that sense of humor. You sound, you know, you got good goals, and I think you're going to achieve them, man, because, you know, you got a good thing going on here. You have good friends, good teachers. You guys said a lot of nice things about your teachers. And I'm sure I speak for these four guys. I speak for Dan. We wish you all the luck in the world, man, and we're going to keep in contact with you. Make sure, you know, you're good. And like I tell the young guys that come on my show, and I really mean this when I say this. I don't just say it just to say it. I don't look at it as you guys are just on my show as guests. You know, I do care about you guys, man. And I'm always available to talk, you know, like in the future. Like if you guys are going through some times, like, man, let me see what Ray thinks of this, you know. If you got, you know, you don't have to get too personal with me if you don't want to, but if you're going through some trials and tribulations and stuff, and maybe want my opinion, man, I would love to talk to you guys anytime. Anytime. I ain't one of them guys that's that busy where, well, I can't. You know, I got this and this going on. I make time for people. So if you guys ever, I'm always there. I'm always there. Now, Dan will be living out of state. You know, it'll be more hard for him. I'm here. I'm here. You guys ever need to talk, I'm here. Okay? Because you guys are going somewhere, man, and I'm going to make sure I see it all the way, man. I want all you guys to succeed, and I know you will. And I don't know if I did a disservice by guaranteeing a state championship, but I think they can do it. I probably shouldn't have done that, man, but it is what it is. I said it. It's on record. You know, you don't like what I said, then beat these guys. You don't like what I said, beat them. You ain't going to beat them. So now, this is our last show because Dan Dan has things going on in his life. He's moving out of state. He went to school here, graduated in 1994. And I know Dan has some things that he wants to say to the panel, to the people that have supported our show. And Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, first of all, as far as next season goes, you know, and I'm not trying to push a motto on you guys, but you go into next year, I think your motto should be, you know, you finished at the top, right? When you start next season, you got to push yourself down at the back of the bottom, right? You can't keep that lofty, right? Oh, we're number one, beat us, right? You need to put yourself back down to square one and work your way back to that championship. I think that's how you're gonna repeat next year, right? So keep that drive, keep that hunger. Don't get a big head. And as an alumni, as an old guy that used to go to this school, walk these halls, I just want to say to you guys that you made a lot, not just myself, but you made a lot of people in this town, in this area, like extremely proud to see you guys out on that field and bring that trophy home back to this school. We couldn't be more proud of you. I couldn't be more proud of you guys. You guys are incredible. You guys inspire a lot of people. You guys are doing the right things. So that's just kind of what I wanted to say. This is our last podcast. I'm moving out of state to Texas, so you know, thank you guys for being on here. I've been pushing for you guys to be on the show for quite a while. We had to postpone it one time due to weather, but I've been really looking forward to have you guys on here.
Can I say
represent my alma mater?
Can I say one real quick?
Yeah.
He wanted to have you guys on here a couple months ago, and I said, well, you know, let's have it, you know, on such and such date. He said, no, I want to have it now, you know, while it's still fresh in everybody's mind. I said, I know, Dan. I said, but man, at the end of January, they're still going to be the state champions. He said, I know, Ray. He said, well, look, man. He said, I went to school there. He said, if that had been Flint Central winning a state title, you'd have interviewed a player every week for the next 3 years. I said, okay, you're right. I said, go ahead and book the date. So
we focus a lot on Flint Central athletes because I mean, you got to say there's a lot of great athletes that come out of that school. Ray knows a lot of guys, so we had a lot of connections. But when you guys won that state title, man, I was like in his ear every week. I had to have you guys on this show. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for showing up today, doing this with us. And I just want to say I'm extremely proud of you guys, and I wish you guys all the best of luck in the future.
Thank you.
And if you guys get to the state title team next year, I will come back from Texas and be at that game and watch that game.
and we'll do a podcast again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, win or lose, we'll do a podcast with them. You know, whether they win or lose.
Right.
Podcast them anyway. Just come back anyway. We'll podcast them again. If they go 0-9.
Absolutely.
I love these kids, man. I love these kids. This was fun. I could have talked for another 4 hours, but I know you don't want me going overboard, but like I said, man, my shows are predicated around. It's like couch talk, man. Like the way we would talk at his house or in his living room. That's what we're doing here. You know, I didn't tell you guys, okay, wear suits and you sit up straight and you know, do all that. No, man, you just come here, chill, just talk about sports, man.
Yeah.
Talk about LeBron James, talk about the road to the title, talk about his hair. You know, there's Danny.
There's Danny.
Danny,
You ready to say goodbye?
are you ready to say goodbye? Okay, come on up here.
Come on, go up there. Everybody, this is my little daughter, Danny. She's 8 years old. She wanted to say goodbye on her last podcast.
Goodbye. Thank you for watching another episode of D3 Nation.
All right. Thank you, Danny.
Mason, would you like to come up here? Mr. Scott, can I prevail upon you, sir, to say a few words? I'll take that as a no. No, I know what that means. Well, once again, just say one last thing. It don't have to be sports related. You want to say hi, Mom, or just
Give a
say
shout
one
out,
last
say
thing
goodbye to
in the
somebody.
mic.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
What's up, Mom? What's up, Dad?
What's good, Mom and Dad and BJ and CJ? I'm gonna see you guys at Wayne State.
All right.
Luke?
Luke?
State champs.
All right.
Rest in peace, Kobe. Love you, Ma.
All right.
That's good stuff. We dedicated last week's show to Kobe Bryant, man. And, you guys want to talk about Kobe Bryant for just a quick second, man? I mean, real quick. We still on, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, man. This is a serious topic, man. Where were you at when you heard the news, man? What'd you think of that when you heard about the helicopter crash?
I was at home and my mom called me about it. I mean, I was hurt. Like, I didn't believe it. I thought it was fake at first.
I was hoping that was like fake
I
Facebook
was hoping
hoax
it
or
was
something, man.
fake
I said, there's no
news.
way, man. I was like, no way that happened. Where were you at, Landon, when that happened?
I was in my basement playing PlayStation with Lucas. He texted the group chat and like, Kobe's dead. And I was like, all right. And I went on Twitter. I only saw like TMZ posted it, so I didn't really believe it that much. So I was like,
That's what happened. Yep.
So I was like, all right. Like I didn't think much until I saw like M Live said something, ESPN and stuff like that. I was like, wow. Like
Yeah, that's
just
what made it
not
hard to
real.
believe because at first it was only TMZ that was reporting it.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
saw that too, and I was like, I'm not believing it until it comes on the
Yeah.
bottom of the screen on ESPN.
What do you think, Terry? What?
I was in my bed. I woke up and I saw it. I'm like, man, they playing until I saw I think ESPN posted it, and I almost threw my phone across the room because I just didn't believe it because like he was just talking to LeBron and everything
Right.
like
Yeah.
at the game, and then
The night before he broke his record.
Yeah. Yep. Felt like a family, like a immediate family member dying. I
Right.
think, man. Where were you at, Luke?
I was just on my way home, and I don't know. I was just looking at my phone, and I saw it. I was on Twitter, and I saw it, and I didn't believe it. I was like looking through tons of things, and just more stuff started showing up, and it, I don't know. Eventually, just came. I believed it.
How about you, Sid?
I was asleep and my mom woke me up. She wanted me to turn on the TV, and we turned it on, and it was like all news about it. And yeah, my mom's a diehard fan of him. She used to dress me up in it all the time.
Yeah.
Like his jerseys and stuff. Like Kobe stuff.
The way I took that, I think Dan called me first, and then another buddy called me. Like you, man, I didn't want to believe it at first, and then when I was checking, TMZ stuff and this and that, and all I kept saying to myself, man, I hope this is fake, because they always have them fake celebrity deaths on social media and all that stuff, man. That's because like, I don't think in my lifetime that an athlete of that caliber in any sport has ever like passed away, like that,
Yeah, not in that way.
not in that way. That was hard to take, man, because I'm just a sports guy. You know what I'm saying? Like the way we was talking about sports today. That's the way I live my life every single day. I didn't even know what carpentry was. Okay, the guy said, who said carpentry earlier? The guy mentioned carpentry. Oh, you put carpet on the ground. Remember what he said? No, man, that ain't what we're talking about. 2x4s and all that stuff. Working on cars, I don't know nothing about that. The house stuff and cooking, I don't even know how to cook, man. But this right here, man, this is more me. So that affected me when I heard about his death, because this is just talking sports and this is a lifestyle for me, man. That hit. I don't think that's really hit me yet about that helicopter going down, and I don't know what to make of that. But I appreciate you saying that on the mic about Kobe, man. So, all right, man. I guess that's it. Dan, it was fun, man. I appreciate you answering the call back in September, and you know, we had a good thing going on here. Got to pay some respects to people. You got to experience some of my high energy, man. I can't help it, man. I'm like that all the time.
Yeah.
Dan's a good guy, man. He you know, he took this like really, really serious. Like when we first started doing this, he's like, hey man, if I'm calling you too much, I said, no, man, because I'm on the road traveling, you know, during the week, every week. And we get our business done over the phone and this and that. I said, man, listen, man, I said, you can never call me enough when it comes to this. So this was a lot of fun. You know, I'm gonna put it on hiatus for a while, but I'm gonna interview you guys again someday in the future. And you know, anybody else who wants to come is more than welcome. Because like I told Luke, I said, everybody's gonna get their shine who's on the show. Like, man, we're sitting over there earlier, man. You know, ain't no way I'm gonna allow somebody to sit in the background. You come, you know, join these guys. But you know, this is fun, man, and I'll be back. I thank you guys for coming. And put this.
Put that right on the middle of the table.
Yeah. I'm scared to pick up this thing. Man, this would have made a good weapon back when I used to wrestle, extreme wrestling style. I'd have hit somebody in the head with this thing. I'd have hit Derek with this thing. Look at that. Everybody get close, man, and just say go Cards, state champ, say whatever, man.